Hey, welcome back to Metropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Thursday night. It is January 22nd, 2026, and I hope you're well. It's been a busy week of Netrunner. It's not going to stop. Last weekend, tournaments. This weekend, tournaments. Next weekend, there's probably not going to be tournaments next weekend, I think. I think we're actually finished all the tournaments. How's everyone doing? How's your Thursday? Zom's correct standing, probably not helping the perception. First I'm hearing about a mobile port. I assume we're talking about Disco Elysium. Yeah, that company I think is in a really weird spot. I've been following it a bit it's a bit interesting. Happy Thursday. You're gonna get the Storm Sunday there too. Cold Lava, how's it going? Congratulations once again. I don't know, probably. I've heard it's meant to get really cold really fast. It was like negative 27 a couple days ago. This week I've been indoors. I haven't been going out. I was sick earlier this week. My partner's been really quite sick these last couple of days, so I've just been like social distancing out of like solidarity because of like it's probably a vector of attack. So I haven't gone out in a bit, but I hope not. I think we are, honestly. Lucy, how's it going? On top? What is the top of Swiss? Nah, I'm all about top of chat. Hey Steph, how's it going? The chat box took a sec to load. Hey Tom, and I thought I might have beat you. No, the thing is like as soon as I open the create live thing and I change the title and do all my publishing stuff, Lucy's already there. It's like impossible to beat Lucy. Eric, how you doing? Subgridsters, how's your arms? Also, yeah, people are asking about the hustling. I saw that you neon hustled one time and you did Peak, which like that's a multiplayer game. You need friends to do Peak. Oh, you should call me up. I play Peak sometimes with my brother. I got out once. It was really fun. Hopefully it's been good. Hustling's been good. Disco Elysium is a hell of an experience. SRN, how's it going? Edward, the mobile port is new-ish, although I don't think anyone's talking about that outside of calling it shit. Is it a bad port? Hey, Gyro. Yeah, D is not a game I would purchase, and the creators of the game would probably concur. It's a very cold today. I hope my car starts. Hey, SRN, hoping for the best. I haven't finished Disco Elysium. I played the first couple hours of it. I thought it was really, really great. At the point that I was playing it, they had announced that they would like redo it and have more narration because like the narration in that game was really good. The voice work was really, really good, but it was only like in small parts. From my understanding, they have since like redone it, so there's more narration all over the place. So I'm gonna go back and play it because I know it's pretty good. Hey Emily, how you doing? Arm is good. Getting the second tattoo tomorrow. Yo, I did peak with Johnny and that we had all sorts of tech issues. So I want to do it again soon. Okay, hit me up if you want to do it. I played it a lot with my brother. My sister also, we played it. We do like family video games online. It's got full voice now. Yo, that's what I've heard. And like the voice work I already heard, which was pretty minimal, was really, really good. So I would definitely want to listen to more of it. I'm really bad at reading video games. If they talk to me, I will generally be a bit more patient. But yeah, Peak is fun. I've only been able to escape once and it was with my brother and he's like a coward. He's like really, really scared. I'm definitely better at the game than he is. So we got into the situation where it's like, you're our last hope. And he gave me all this stuff. I ejected my backpack and climbed out and it was incredibly epic. It was a very, very memorable gaming moment. Rip to my brother. His ghost survives forever. The voice acting is mind-blowingly good. I've only heard the beginning of it, so hopefully it gets better. Good morning, here from Malaysia. Hey, how's it going? Happy Friday. Shout out for Jai coming over last Saturday to Malaysia to have a game with the local community. Yo, that's awesome. How's it going, Malaysia? I have no idea how big of a travel that is. Apologies to a more ignorant Westerner, but that's awesome. I know the community around there is like pretty good. So that's quite dope, let alone you get to hang out with Jai, which is always nice. Love all those games like Lethal Company. Lethal Company, yeah. Another thing I played with my family. Another thing where my brother is a total coward. As much as we love him, we play Lethal Company, we play Phasmophobia. We did all these things. A lot of them were like through the pandemic and later. It'd be like a Friday night. You want to just jump online on voice and do games. And oh my God, my brother's such a coward. Nicest guy though, but he gets scared so fast. We played Dead by Daylight. He'd always be in a locker, which is like classic. Anyways, we have a lot of stuff going on. This weekend was the, what's it called? I keep saying Continentals. It's obviously not the Continentals. The Circuit Breaker Invitational. There was 3 heats. This year, it did not seem like it was as big as it was last year. I think less invites were just handed out. I do think we ran out of COs at some point during this year, so it was a smaller fair. I think America's was the biggest one, which I don't think that's happened in a while. But I think Europe was like, oh, actually, maybe that's not right. Maybe I saw the European numbers after people dropped, and that significantly does, you know, online tournaments with like such a narrow cut do that. But if you didn't watch, It's up on YouTube on Null Signal Games. We streamed one of them, but there is 3 streams here. Americas, more accurately, EMEA and APAC. They're all different tournaments. They're about like 7 hours long, 7.5 hours long. So there's some good Netrunner to watch, and it doesn't stop. This upcoming weekend at Saturday, it's the time zone is like really wacky. It starts here at 6 p.m. So like if you're a European, good luck. Your tournament starts at midnight. I think that's absurd. It's really hard to make a tournament that makes sense for all time zones. But like if you're in West Coast or APAC, I think the time zone makes a fair bit of sense. But it'll be starting this Saturday, where 15 players who got the top 5 from all these blocks and are returning Circuit Breaker, Kikai, are going to be competing to get that Circuit Breaker invite, or not, wow, the Circuit Breaker title. So that'll be on Saturday. So make sure you tune in. We'll talk a bit about the meta and what we saw and stuff like that. I haven't watched all of EMEA yet. I've only seen a couple rounds. EO has bad timing for an event. I sympathize. Don't know if that's sarcasm or not. It might be sarcasm. How's it going, Surveyor? Very excited for CBI this weekend. One of our local meta mates, Jorb, made the cut. Played at some great practice games with him last night. Yo, that's awesome. I think there's a couple players where I know their names, but I don't know where they're from. I'm pretty sure I knew that Jorb is from down under. But yeah, I'm gonna do some research before we can figure out who these players are. Netrunner content has been flowing. It's been really good. It's been a while since I listened to a podcast, but things are pretty good. Tron, bubble moment. I apologize. I assume you were playing on Friday. I've no doubt you're playing something pretty cool, so sorry about that. Totally sarcasm. I remember playing at EU-sided Worlds Day, and that was a very, very late, early day. Yeah, it's like the most people usually play in that block. I don't think that was the case this year. My favorite genre of game turned anyone into a voice actor game. Oh, those sort of like friend stuff. Yo, Kato, very funny that I logged in just now. I just talked about Peak for Goaty stuff. Love the game. Oh, whoa, yeah. It constantly gets updates, which is really cool. I've played a whole bunch of stuff by that studio too. I guess I'm halfway through the Crab Souls-like game. It's like okay. But yeah, it's like charming. And I don't know, these like third places where you can hang out with your family, your friends, and just kind of goof around. I think people like this a lot. The APAC Advantage Hustle. Wait, I don't know what this means. I think like this is a weird thing that happens with this tournament structure, is that it needs to be approachable for everybody, right? So there's the 3 different heats, but the thing is like usually one of the heats has fewer players, except the amount of players that get in from each heat is it's locked. It's like not proportional to amount of players. So like we've seen years where it's like you have to be in the top 5 of like 100 players, as opposed to if you play to APAC, which is, you know, just usually the smallest because of the time zone, and it just probably addresses less people. You have to be like the top 5 of like 30 people or 40 people. So it's like every year, it's kind of like that. The best thing you can do is play an APAC for your odds. This year, I don't think it was anywhere near as pronounced. It was still like really hard to make top 5 from a field of 50, but APAC was like 35 people, so it wasn't that big of a deal. I think there's just less people playing overall this year. Stay up till 3 a.m. so I can play in the smaller APAC heat. It's like the right thing to do. Like it's if I was going to play in CBI, I would have played APAC hours. I think the best thing you can do, and like I'm not saying anything about the quality of the players, but like just having a field of smaller players helps you so much. Been a while since I listened to a podcast. 15 days ago. Yo, 15 days ago. Is this Sabo deck I'm getting destroyed by on JNet? I think there's a big chance, Emily. I haven't actually seen this deck. I was really excited to play some other deck lists today. We're going to play some other deck lists. I assumed we would have seen an Arasana deck list of the week yet. I'm assuming that's going to be next week. But we've seen some really cool decks come out of the last couple tournaments. We did not... Plutus PD didn't become deck list of the week for some reason. The thing that Bodram put out, that was weird. I guess it was Synapse last week. We missed that. Mind you, last week, if you want to watch the stream, we played ONR and had a great time. But this is a Reg Esâ deck from RD. Came first at Hobbies and Cheats, GNK. It's mainly based on Davs' Esâ world, minus Matryoshka's, which got banned out. And so we have a couple changes here. I am not an Esâ expert. I'm not even like a big Esâ fan. I don't enjoy playing Esâ that much. The difference is we have like functional breakers and we have simulchips. We also have T400 memory diamonds, which is like a card that I'm not even sure if one of these was in the Esâ list of worlds. I feel like I have seen one of these in the competitive list and been pretty confused about it. But we have simulchips, which honestly don't seem super easy to me to play, because simulchip, you have to trash a program. And it's true that we have fermenters. It's just like we're really limited when we can use the simulchips. I think people want to have recursion in an Esâ deck, because if you lose your breakers, like what are you going to do to core damage? But simulchip is like kind of hard to play sometimes. I'm not saying we should play Scrounge, but you know what I mean? It's like the cost to this actually is very limited. There's only certain turns you can fire it, but sometimes it's nice just to get fermenters back. What else do we have? We have a 1x Botulus. So that's new. I don't think the original list had a Botulus. Went 2-1, and yeah, the previous list probably didn't even have fermenters. So that's what this is. We're at 47 cards. I feel like there's some weird influence spends in Davs' list. I think those are missing, but now we actually have to play real breakers. And I think Begamon's actually really quite good. This is something that Simulchip does benefit from because you want to pull it in the mid to late game when it breaks all barriers for a credit. Buzzsaw is definitely has downsides. We have no way of breaking big code gates like MIC really easily. We don't break things like Scatterfield really easily. We have no I guess we have one leech. Maybe that can help. We have no ice destruction, and then we have Carmen, which I was thinking about this the other day. I played Nova Inituma at a GNK recently. And you saw we played Nova on the channel. We built a Nova deck. That was the way that we would build it. And Nova's shtick is that you can play any card in the standard format as long as you only play one copy of it. There's no influence, right? So what breakers do you run? And in 2026, the breaker suite I ran was almost entirely criminal besides Unity, which is bizarre. So bizarre. Technically, criminals classically are meant to have the best killer. Is Carmen the best killer in the format? I honestly don't know. It's definitely flexible. It does good against the big stuff. It's pretty bad against 3-strength sentries, which are not uncommon, as much as that is kind of like a single faction repping all of that. But it's really wild to think about it. Like, what's the best fracture in the game? And it's it's not very obvious what it is. No Cacophony is interesting. I don't think you see a lot of Cacophony. It's not like a very consistent card. Some people would argue it's a win more card as well. And for Cacophony to be really good, you need to be destroying something a turn, which is not something we do consistently. You could also score something, right? Yeah, steal or trash, but this is just not very, very consistent. In fact, this deck has no multi-axis outside of the finality, but the multi-axis is Esâ, it's sabotage. So it's like running archives, doing that sort of stuff. I really like when you play Esâ when you have some amount of HQ pressure. It's been a while since I've seen Davs' list, but I'm assuming Davs' list had a cupellation or some amount of HQ pressure. Yeah, it did. And I think this is so important because again, a lot of times corporation will sabotage their non-agendas out of hand. So then swinging HQ and seeing 3 is the best thing you can do. The weird influence was mechanocytes, which I agree that mechanocytes could just be a T400 memory diamond. You don't really charge this. So I think that's a cool change. But yeah, the cupellation, I feel like I'm going to miss a fair bit in this deck. Best Refactor, Propeller unless you're Esâ. Yeah, and honestly it might be Propeller, but I think that's with support pieces. I think in a vacuum it's probably not. Simulchip is its instant speed self core. Yeah, you can do this on even the corporation's turn. You can always just flicker your Begamo, which is kind of cool. But at some point you have to stop doing it. Kind of hate that the right thing to do in the game is game the pods. I feel similar to the 2-for-1s being the best thing to do. I kind of hope that they weigh them by pod size next year to make the choice simpler. I think it makes the choice simpler. I think if they weigh the pods, you also get into this weird spot where you don't know if you're going to make the cut until all 3 rounds finish. Maybe that's actually technically not true because you have to pre-register and send your decks in before the first round starts. So they should be able to tell you the top 2 of this makes it. But then you get into really weird narratives. Say that there's 100 people in APAC, 100 people in EMEA. Sorry, 100 people, whatever, 100 people in APAC, 100 people in EMEA. And there's only 20 people playing Americas. And it's the top 1 makes it. I think that's kind of makes sense, but it's really hard. It's kind of weird. I had so much fun with Clues PD last week. It goes blazing fast. I played it at a GNK last week. I had a great time. I thought it was really, really cool. There's some really cool click flips. Hey Luna, how's it going? It's morning and also Métropole. You playing Esâ? It's the decklist of the week, so I think we have to. Also 2 Ghost Tongue, 3 Marrow. Is that what Devs did? No, Devs did 3 Ghost Tongue, and I kind of see it. It's it's an economy card. It also fires your ability, but the changes to this are fascinating. It's the Matryoshka changes happen, but then there's also a lot of other, I think, subtle changes that might be a bit less subtle than already thinks. But sick. Let's give it a shot. I think we have JNet open. Deck border, import. There was a really big bubble though. Sometimes something like 5 to 7 players. Pencil's Ari is so sick. I really am excited to play Pencil's Ari next week when it's undoubtedly the decklist of the week. It is really, really cool. And I want to see Pencil's PD. I'm assuming it's the cool PD, but Pencil is a player that will play a cool deck really, really well. And I'm assuming Pencil's been jamming the PD lists that I think Pencil can win big events with, which are cool kickflip PDs and combo PDs. I've been seeing a lot of Simulchip Splash recently. Interesting. I'm not sure why they'd be. Pravdavost. Okay, so Pravdavost, it's one of those decks where we don't actually make good decisions because Pravdavost can be anything. It can just be traps. Time to meet the stream. So we don't make a lot of good decisions because you can't really tell what they're up to. The one thing is deciding whether or not you run, because the first time a turn you make a successful run, they get an advancement counter. And there's some nightmare scenarios, either big infinite scaling ice, which eventually Begamot does not cut it if they have like a log jam that goes on forever. The other thing is just big traps. Like you hit a checklist and it gives you like 7 tags, right? Like we're in cockroach poker territory. So yeah, we just kind of have to like play conservatively or like high roll things. It's been a while since we've seen Prob to Boast. I'm usually happy about that. So let's talk about this hand. Steel Skin and Strike Fund are kind of subpar. We have no core damage cards. T400 Memory Diamond. We have 2 in the deck. I don't know if this is a kill combo deck. That's usually why you want this hand size stuff. Early Shestushka, I don't think I really like. Wildcat Strike, they'll probably give us money. I think we're going to mulligan this for anything that does core damage. This seems a bit better. Hey, Brendan, how's it going? How's your week been? He says, nearly belching into the microphone. This sweater has like a small texture to it, so I'm getting that weird moire on the screen. I don't know if y'all see it. All right, Shestushka respect. Hanse is more money than I'd expect him to have. So she's just putting something on the table. We do not know what it is. We could check it. In theory, could check us and give us 2 tags. It could be an Urtica for 3 damage. I don't know. There's not that much actually we have to check on turn 1, so I think we're going to just promise here not to run. The only thing is we don't want to install a Marrow, if this is a Spin Doctor, because then the sabotage is undone in a very obvious way. So I think we don't. I think we'll just play the Wildcat Strike and see what happens. Hey, Daria. How's it going? You been good? So our opponent gives a choice here. Draw 4. Usually the draw 4 is not what you see there. I'm actually really happy with the draw 4 because we had no card draw. So we could just play Running Hot here for tempo. The only card that if it hits we're upset is the Marrow, I think. It means that we're not going to be discarding cards. Actually, we're not even discarding cards here. So I think we just do Sure Gamble, Strike Fund, keep her money up. Because we don't want to do this last click because then she can give us cards. So how bad could this possibly be? Week has been good. Busy, lots of losses on JNet, but I'm trying janky stuff. I mean, like, that's what I expected. Watching this on JNet with the stream delay is very strange. Oh, are you the spectator? So it was a Spin Doctor. So glad that we called that. So we didn't do sabotage. Doing a sabotage into the Spin Doctor is one of the worst things you can do. It just basically turns your ability off. But now knowing where this is, like, she really needs to consider icing this up. Otherwise, we 100% run it down. And the cool thing about running a Spin Doctor down is it usually doesn't make a successful run if we run it. So Prob to Boast doesn't get a counter. But we're going to run as little as we can. If she advances this, we get some information. Because it has to be a card you can advance. So that just means it's a barrier or a code gate. I don't think it's a sentry. Very cool. Username's exact match? Yeah, I just don't look at it. But yeah, you're right. It's there. But I generally don't look at it. I don't see it in the chat log. All right, so she's fixing her hand. I'm assuming 2 face downs will get shuffled back in. We can run it first, and then we can just like rip the Marrow and see what happens. I think we're okay with that. Tried fiddling with my own deck, and I have like a 15% win rate. I'm just going to play what a good player do for a bit. SRN, I think it's like, yeah, it looks like 2 agendas went back. It's like one of the best things you can do is net deck. And that's because this game is so hard and in some ways so bad at giving you feedback of whether your deck is bad or whether you're playing it suboptimally. And so like getting out of the way, getting one half out of the way and being like, this is a good deck. The problem is on play patterns, let alone generally good decks encourage you to play them well. Like they generally force your correct patterns. I think that's like helps so much. Also, the more that you play like a deck that is well refined and well oiled, you start to learn. It was just 2 from R&D. Wow. You start to learn like pattern recognition of like how much economy is enough economy, and it makes you a better deck builder. All right, we can last click check archives. It sees 2 cards. 1 Spin Doctor is out. It doesn't get the advancement, which I'm not super interested. I think we just keep drawing up. So you're giving me carte blanche permission to write out my reads in chat and I'll have them been noticed? No, I will like hit the button that bans or like mutes spectators, but like, yeah, I generally don't pay attention to spectator names. Apologies. Okay, so here we also can decide not to run. If we don't run, and mind you, we're not very good at breaking ice. If this is a 4-2, she has to commit to like pre-advancing it. So we might just do nothing here, unfortunately. Another chance that this is another Spin Doctor, so the running hot's a bit silly. But I think we're just going to draw up and set up. All right, what ice are we expecting? Tag stuff? Mess and chest foes are pretty common. Face check loses 3 credits. There's just not enough stuff here to install. So I think we just install the Simul chip and hit the running hot. I forgot we have an Ashen in this list. If we lose this, do we have like 1 Katurga? We have 1 Katurga for recursion, so we could get that back. Net decking isn't going to help me build in the wild jank that invades my brain every couple weeks. No, but like the net decking gives you the skill set to get good at it, at getting to that point. We lost the Shestushka, that's fine. Okay, we have 4 clicks. 2 more from the top of R&D. But if we run here, she can get advancement. In theory, we can run here. If she gets advancements, we put a botchlist on server 2 and charges it. I think that's probably fine. Let's give it up for read. Actually, my computer on Thursday night. Ren, how's it going? How's your week been? Let's see what read we get out of the deck and what she advances. Looks like she's deciding. Probably the advancement, maybe a spin doctor. What's her read on HQ Ice? Came on turn 1, so you'll put anything on HQ turn 1. But she's thinking here, so it's either the advancement or a spin. Either way, I think we're okay. We could get Stinky in Archives, which would also kind of suck. I mean, if we were to meet each other in the lobby or otherwise play together. Oh, no, I read that. That's fine. Post-truth. Governance subsidy, Holloman, the card is advanced. So she has way more money than I've ever seen in Proptivos deck, which like frightens me. We could get small oppoed. I think we're still going to just like run this down because she advanced it. We get through most ice, I think. Like Mestachesso, we tank 3. But we might end up on the wrong side of an oppo as soon as this turn. It is the Mestachesso. Okay, cool. So we're going to lose 3, which means we draw a card. And then we'll end the run. I mean, sorry, the opposite. So this should be a king making. Cool. That makes a lot of sense. So we're in 6 credits. We could get the Mystic down if we wanted to. We've already sabotaged. This means the deck is on king making and post truth, which is like the cool combo. It's probably also on superconducting hub and maybe some other 1-pointers. So she probably has a really high agenda density, which is fine. I think we could click for a credit here. That means we can clear 3 oppo tags. Losing the retribution's like the bad thing. She oppos us. She doesn't really have money. I'll just click for a credit. The Mystic is fine too. It drops us to 5. I'll just click for a credit. It's okay. Jaden needs a better way of checking cards without alerting your opponent. What do you mean checking cards? Oh, like in archives, you can see them highlighting it. The thing is like that totally replicates the human experience, right? Like I would watch Emily if she's rifling through her archives, making a decision. Like you can tell the turns where people look at their archives. It's usually like, oh, did they draw a spin doctor or some recursion card? It's kind of funny. How much influence is Cerebral Overrider? I think it's 3, but it's been a minute since we've seen one. She will click left, which means the server doesn't do much. So I think this is a turn that we just classically don't run because she knows we can run this. So this would be pretty weird. It's 2 influence? The F? Yo, Matopper, how's it going? Welcome to the Métropole Grid. We are playing some really weird stuff now, so it's going to be a hard time to explain exactly what Netrunner is doing, but glad you can make it. Hopefully your Thursday's good. Measured is 4 threads, so we're okay to measured. So I think it's going to be a setup turn. We're going to just draw up once. And I think we can just do Leech Mystic. That's fine. Or sorry, Nuka Mystic. We could have Running Hot that turn. Maybe it's a spin. We'll find out more next turn. All right, so Metapher comes from Marvel Champions, which I've been streaming a fair bit on Sundays. This is Netrunner. The short of the long is it's an asymmetric cyberpunk heist card game where 2 players, I'm not kidding at all. But the big difference in this game is you have an action economy. So every turn, us and our opponent has a different amount of clicks. Every action we do takes a click. And one of your clicks can just be draw a card from your deck. So it becomes really, really fascinating because it's more about click economy, action economy than it is about some of the other stuff in like Marvel Champions. So when I play Ob, I'm always tracking my archives. There you go. So we still don't have a read on the table. This card didn't move, so it could be Holloman. We don't really want to make a run. This looks like a Spin Doctor setup. I don't think there's anything that if we didn't do it last turn, we have to do this turn. So this might be a fine setup to just do Nuka, play some economy. We have a Raindrops, which wants us to run. These are really expensive. Like Buzz on Carmen are very expensive. We could... Carmen we're only installing for like Starlit, maybe? But I don't actually want to do anything here. We could 2-for-1 with a Pinhole and get some information. It's actually not that bad. Because we could like see if a Spin Doctor gets popped. Maybe we chase something out. If she advances, we can run something down. Like that's okay. It's free, which is cool. Important thing is this game is SCF and nasty. It's a really, really good game. It's a fascinating game. Man, I really do not want to pay 7 credits to get some breakers down. Send it Running Hot? I mean, one of these looks like a spin. I don't think I really want to do it. I think we actually check server 3. I'll Raindrops that. I just want money. Raindrops doesn't care if the run's successful, so who cares if it's a spin? But if the advancement goes on this, maybe we'll bite. Yeah, there you go. So this is why we don't Running Hot. So we did not make a successful run, which means we don't have to check this. I think this is likely to be a Holloman or some garbage. So again, maybe it's a Vlad grid. That'd be kind of cool. But now we can do a Running Hot. It drops us to 5 hand size. If we lose our breaker, are we upset? I mean, we're not going to break this for 5 credits or 4 credits, so I don't think so. Let's go. We lost the Ashen, that's acceptable. Let's see where they come from. We should be pressuring HQ a bit more because she's been sending it from R&D a lot. And she just drew 2 unknown cards in her hand, which I think actually makes her hand probably less dangerous because I think she was a bit flooded. So it's 2 from HQ. Interesting. We could just raindrops HQ at this point. We want her to res. The successful run means we can like Carmen down. We could also do like, yeah, leech raindrops is fine. The leech actually really helps the buzzsaw. Yeah, we'll try it. This is a bit aggressive. If she advances this, we have to check it. At least it's like technically a free check. The issue is if it's a checkist, we're going to end up with a tag or 2. Now, runner's cool in 2 levels. Not only is it a tricky strategic competition, but also prone to making people break spontaneous LARP. Big thing about this game is one of the sides of the table puts their cards face down. So it's all about like finding what stuff is. All right, no res. Let's see where the advancement goes. If it's on ice, could be on the Messney. But if it's on the server 2 card, we could check it out. It's on the ice, that makes sense. Planogram, no good. Okay. We could go back. Why was this not rezzed? Is it a Seraph? I don't know. Maybe she just wants to hold out to Shestushka. I think that would be actually a pretty smart plan. We only have 1 more hand size. If we nuka, we end up discarding. I think we can just draw. Nothing happened here. I'm just going to click for a credit. I don't think we have to do anything. I really want a Fermenter. Like, we definitely need some long economy here. All we have is Mystic. It's also technically completely free to play, minus your local library's printing fees and cost of card sleeves. Yeah, this game is entirely free. And I don't mean the digital client, which is also free, but everything is. Well, that's hot tea. Cool thing about Netrunner is that it has a dexterity component. There are cards called Trojans. You have to throw them. Okay, never mind. I'm not reading that. Okay. So this looks like Holloman or Vlad Grid. It could be a trap. We're probably not incentivized to run here. Holloman technically could just score out of 4-2, and it could be a king making. That's going to cost 6 credits and probably not do anything besides get a king making scored, which is not the end of, like, it's the worst thing for us. 2 spins are out, so I think we just want to like get this Shestushka across. We always can flicker this Messenchesso, so this could just be like Ascended Shestushka. Let's draw for an econ card first. I mean, that's not what we want, but I think we'll start with the Shestushka. It drops us down to 7 credits. If this gets rezzed, like, we could do Buzzsaw Shestushka, just so if it is a Messenchesso, we can break it. It might just be a ping. We could give up on the server, though, which is kind of expensive. I don't want to do that. I think we just Shestushka and see what happens. Like, worst case, we get the Simulchip and move the Botchless over. Let's see what happens once the fists start flying. Excited about the loading ready run coverage. I've heard a bit about that, but I don't know what those words mean. It's some sort of content. So I've been playing Trojans. No further action. She's preserving money for this remote server, so this is going to be a successful run, so we get the prov counter, which will tell us something. Okay, so it's the card underneath, which makes it look like a Vlad Grid or a trap on top of a Holloman. I don't think we have to bite. So we'll see where Sabotage 4 goes. In theory, the best thing we could do this turn is another Sabotage action. So 3 from HQ and 1 from R&D. So with this card in hand, we know one of them was a planogram, or did she play it? I didn't pay enough attention. She played it. So we could run back for sure. Again, these cards in hand seem important, so we'll learn something. We're also getting leech tokens, which are not nothing. Local to me comedy sketch group. That's big in MTG community. Oh, cool. Oh, is it opposite? 1 from HQ, 3 from R&D. You're right, it's opposite. That makes more sense. She has cards in hand. just once. I think we only have 2 Shestushkas. Oh, wow, we have 3. I don't think the world's list had 3. I know, I actually don't know what loading ready run is. I don't. I'm not being sarcastic, Gato. I've heard those words. I just don't know what that means. I'm assuming it's some sort of nerd adjacent content. Comedy video production house from Canada. They're doing Netrunner. I mean, cool. That's sick. No res. I think she wants to tag us. They're Canadian? I mean, there's lots of Canadians out there. I think she wants to tag us. Do we check archives and win? We could check HQ and win. It's just 3-card axis. I don't like our hand. Yeah, that's it. Ah, good game. We just sabotaged. That's all we did. Wasn't that interesting? We just sabotaged and touched something. Oofa. Oofa. I think I could tell a bit. GG, what was the other one in hand? Yeah, she wasn't doing much on the table. And actually really a big thing about Probdivost is that a lot of times they put things on the table and then they want you to make a run so she can score them out. Oh, it's a game to do a Cloud Eater. I mean, yeah, cool. Okay, so we didn't bunch on the Oracle. Like, this is the best case for us. Like, she really has to make this Oracle look scary for us to want to do something. But that is why she's keeping 10 credits to res the Cloud Eater on a remote server, which we would definitely just eat in that. Oh, man. Yeah, I reckon you have a lot. How many are in the deck with king making and all the ones? Like, she has a lot of 1-point agendas, which means the densities. She probably has like 11 to 13 agendas. Maybe the next big things kind of make it make sense. GG. Were they play Penn and Teller's Desert Bus? That game's just a boring road trip over and over. Oh, were they the people that like did the whole bus ride? Yeah, that might. Yeah, that beans. Yeah. Yeah, you really need to put your cards on the table and like force us to like want to touch them. But again, anytime she puts a 4-2 in their remote server, if we don't run, like things will fall apart. Always a sad day when NBN has Cloud Eater instead of Seraph. I mean, I don't think you can blame her. All right, we'll do one more. Again, I'm not the biggest ESA lover. I think there's some cool things ESA can do. And I think Davs, like listen to the Davs interview on the podcast on the King's Court. Because Davs talks about ESA as like a control deck as opposed to like an aggro deck. But the problem is like so many folks I run into play ESA like super aggro all the time. And it's like not the most fun. Sorry for the non-game. No, not at all, Emily. Good game. Yeah, okay. So I know about the Desert Bus thing. Hey, Yuko. Okay, I'm assuming we're there. She's going to try and hurt us. All right, so what's it called? So strat in chat, please. I won't look. Good luck, have fun. All right, so our hand, Steelskin, fine. Actually really good for face checking. Mystic, fine. Botchels is a 1-of in the deck. It's not really good against Tattoo. It's not really good against Samuk. It's fine against Anemone. Fermenter is okay. I don't think we have any like hard asset tech. Like we don't have Fencer. We don't have anything that like just deals with assets, which is, well, we have Hannah. Actually, Hannah's pretty good. We don't have Lagu, which Dabs was not playing Lagu. There's no shot. Yeah, 3 Nuka, 1 Mystic. So pretty narrow. We do have the Hannah at least, which is cool. I don't know. What is selling? Let's see if she keeps or not. I think that's going to determine whether we really need to juice it or not. You look over the MTG players and it'll be like John Brown, and you look at the Netrunner players, it's like Code Hacker. I mean, it's an online client. You'd have to assume you're doing something weird. All right, Mystic Steelskin might be enough. Fermenter for slow econ. It's probably not enough, actually. Like, if she puts... What happens if she puts a cohort on the table turn 1? I think we just tank it. Nah, her hand actually has, like, non-dead cards. I'm assuming we could get better here. Issue is, like, all our economies Fermenter, and that probably won't sustain. Let's see. She mulled, so maybe we have a bit more. Hey, Jai, how's it going? We had a nice comment about you hopping over to Malaysia to play some Netrunner. How you been doing? Even in person, people use their handles on the tournament software where other card games use their real names. I do use my handle, you're right. Have we talked about CBI? No, not in depth. But for what it's worth, I haven't watched too much of the other CBIs besides the ones that I was involved in. So we're going to talk about it and explore it together. But it'll be out after this game. So buckle up. All right, I'm not going to play Steelskin because I love face checking with Steelskin. Our goals are to play economy cards, which is Mystic and Fermenter. We can at least draw once, maybe twice. The Simulchip probably will get our Fermenter back or move a Botulus. So we could play like the conservative option where we get our money up, which would be draw first, see if we have a Sure Gamble, play Sure Gamble, then a Mystic, or Sure Gamble Fermenter. Or technically we would just play the Mystic and Sure Gamble maybe next turn. I think we can do that and then just install 2. Otherwise we install 2, click for a credit. That's good. That actually is like some soft quick econ, so we'll do Mystic Fermenter. Call it a day. Are we gonna read Kikai writing about himself in third person? No, did Kikai do like a player update on himself? I heard that there was like either creating or there are player profiles, which is really, really cool. If Kikai third person's himself. All right, no counters, blank ID, pretty sick for now. 1 FUD away from being absolutely bankrupt, but we do have a 3 credit button next turn. Even in person, people use their handles. Sorry, excuse me. Are we going to rekey guy? Excuse me. Check the surveyor. It's great. And he does, in fact, third person himself. Profiles are up. Okay, cool. I never remember the handle. It's like TraceX Surveyor, TraceX Substack. Yeah. Okay, we'll check this out. CBI player profiles. That's awesome. The bracket is up for what it's worth. And I think people, I don't know if they've locked in what side they have to play yet. I think that's a later decision. But you could like probably guess what the first matchups are to some extent. I think people don't do second level matchup pairings. It's like not worth it. Shout out again. It is starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. I'll be streaming the first half. It gets a bit late. And then I think Juniper, she'll be handling the latter half. But we'll be back. On that note, I made some animations on the CBI. Did you all see that? We got some cool card arts. I animated some of them really quickly the night before. And one of them is a new card. It's a totally new card. I have the video I can show you. But I did some quick animations and I think they were actually quite fun. But yeah, we can like look at a new card that kind of looks like the midpoint between Criminal and Anarch, but I guess a bit more Criminal maybe. If you know, you know. All right, she's doing nothing. We don't have to check archives here, so I don't think we're going to do much. I think we're going to continue to set up. Botch us on HQ, like in theory threatens a later Chastushka. We don't really want that. I think we're probably going to discard that. That's a really good draw. So I think we just do Simon Chip credit, throw at the cat. This is a really good card though, actually, but I think it's something we'll simulchip back because we install it for 2 and we can technically do this. Well, sort of, we could do this on our opponent's turn, but it breaks the, we want to force our opponent for her to res at least a copy of Samak Samun so that we break her for 1. She feels silly. I mean, it really does cost us 3 to break the first one. Look at us not doing anything. We're a control deck, remember? Hansei, okay, she gets her first counter. Money's good. We don't really have to check archives. In theory, there could be some like, I don't think there's any trick to go from no board state to a scored. Oh no, you could. A Regenesis? I guess you could with Moonpool. I was in Malaysia to run a small thing for the KL locals on Saturday. I took the night bus down to play the Sunday CBI pod. Oh, that's sick. How long is the travel? So we could botchlist this or we could just raindrops it. I'm fine to just raindrops it. If it does net damage, we don't care. If it ends the run, we could botchlist it. So we'll just raindrops the server. We're going to get in there with 3 credits, which should be enough to trash what we're expecting to be in here, which is a cohort for 2. Oh, yeah, right. All right, so we pull in the Begamut. It's not big enough. So we're going to take damage and she's going to discard a card, which means she's going to AUKO. I forgot about this. It's not a fish, the mammal. I forgot about this mammal. So hopefully it hits the steel skin. Like best case, Ashen steel skin. Yeah, Begamut, we need to take 2 core damage. Oh, damn, we're good. And in the right order. Cool. So we have a lot of cards here. She has fewer cards. We can check archives here if we wanted to. I think we do. I think we just do sure gamble check archives. We want to make sure that like the weird matchup with S is with Regenesis is in play because then your opponent can discard a Regenesis, especially if you sabotage late in the turn and like, or discard a 5/3. So we could do Ghost Tongue first. The pinhole is actually kind of important that I don't want to. So I think we just check archives. We could take some damage here, but I just want to read what we got. There is a blood. Okay, so Moonpool and FUD got discarded? To what? We'll take the blood. So Mystic is good. We take no damage, but if FUD's out and Moonpool's out. With 1 card, we're not really scared of this anymore. She's going to AUKO next turn. I don't think we Ghost Tongue last turn because, again, if they're on Regenesis, which Blood in the Water, I don't actually know what kind of read it gives us. I think there were Blood in the Water decks being played heavily at the New Year Showdown. I don't think I grokked the lists. We have to play around, I think, like 1 measured. These lists also might be on Oppo. Petty Cash? That was just in the bin? Oh, it came off of AUKO. Okay, so she discarded the Petty Cash. Spin Doctor, we have to run that. This card was not rezzed or popped, so we don't know what it is. Some people are playing HB cards now a bit more, so like Humanoid Resources. It's a neat AUKO tempo card. Just a tempo card. So we're going to try and run this and maybe we'll play the Ghost Tongue just so that Simul Chip into Botu we can break. We can botch the Sabotu and torture cards on the end to run subs. Yeah, we technically can do it. You can only do it once a turn. It's like kind of a fun thing to do, but I think we're just going to end up Begamutting it. In theory, with Begamut, we could always just like break one subroutine and let the other two fire and see what happens. But yeah, sometimes it does really matter. All right, nothing in archives here. So she's just icing up, which is cool. But I'm just going to run the Spin Doctor down. She might give it to us. Maybe she wants to put the Moonpool back in the Hansei. I could see that being a thing. The rest of our turn's not particularly interesting. But we definitely want to run this before we play Running Hot or Ghost Tongue, which I think we just play the Running Hot. We want to find a Begamut. Sorry, a Marrow. We want to get our hand size up. She's trying to hurt us. Let alone like... Maybe it's good to discard this because once you put a Marrow down, this card usually gets a bit nonsense. A 7-2. So it's Moonpool and Fut. Okay. Her money's good. We want more card damage. So I think we'll just do the Running Hot to draw more cards. Hits the Strike Fund, best case. Pinhole, worst case? I don't know. I think the Running Hot's just better than the Ghost Tongue. I never liked Ghost Tongue, especially with the Mystic. Pinhole, worst case. Okay, Carmen's good. We have to make a successful run, though. She's done a good job. But now at any point, we can go grab our Begamut. And at least before we're on threat, it will break this for 1 credit, which is like a really nice thing that we have. Oh, I forget that we turn on Ayuko. Sabotage turns on Ayuko. I totally forget about that. As long as you sabotage 1 from HQ, and she did 2 from HQ. So this could, in theory, be a Regenesis setup. And we are just like cooked by that. So that's bad. So if that's the case, I think we can just install the Carmen Run Archives. The most amount of points she can give us is 1 Fuji before the second Fuji wins the game. Yeah, the old 60-60 matchup. I think I'm good to do this. I just want to keep Archives honest. It was from HQ, so I don't think these are agendas, but this could be a Regenesis setup because I have no read what this card is that wasn't rezzed. And we'll do this just to break a Saisentan or something horrible. So Mavirus and a Fut. She discarded a Fut. Okay, so we no longer worry about Archives. We can just draw up. We only have 4 hand size. I think we just click for credit. I'm not going to install the Nuka. We're not unmeasured. I think I just want to keep our money up in case she oppos. We definitely don't want to go down to 2 cards in hand. So we could do Nuka credit, be on 3 cards in hand. Then she could score this out if it's a blood. So I'm just going to make it awkward and just do credit. Sad Fermenter. Oh yeah, you're right. Our Fermenter got purged. I forgot about that. Little guy. No. You could Ghost Tongue, take Fermenter, install Begamut for Heap Run remote. I think I'm only going to run the remote if she advances it. Like I want it to be our little surprise. But yeah, losing Fermenter was a bit bad. Yeah, discarding Fut from hand is not what I expected. Like that's a card that we have to deal with. And currently she's not presenting a lot of problems we have to deal with. We're kind of allowed to do whatever we want. Especially because she has a server that doesn't seem like we're capable of running. Technically we are. Feels like we could have run the remote and then installed Karma at a discount. Yeah, but if we install the what's it called? If we end up installing our Begamut with the Simul chip, we could lose the Carmen, right? And then we don't have a Simul chip. It's a 1 in 4, so you can roll those dice if you want to, but I don't know if we have to. All right, we'll start here. We usually get these for free. Yeah, the 2 credit rebate on the Carmen is like probably not worth it. That being said, I used to be on an 8 credit fermenter, so I felt a bit better about myself. Things are a bit different in this post-purge economy. But yeah, I usually do not like go out of the way to do the Carmen run unless it really matters. If she gives this to us, like we're okay paying 2 for it, it does mean we trash something and made a successful run, which maybe that matters for Oppo. At least we're still not on threat 3 this turn. I still don't know what this is, so I am tempted to run Archives. So we could just like do Nuka, run Archives. If we lose the Strike Fund, that's perfect. And then we can always rebound with Nuka. But yeah, this wasn't rezzed, so kind of weird. But we need this off the table if we want to threaten anything. Yeah, there it goes. Moonpool's the other card, this recursion card that also matters. This could be a Moonpool really easily. Because there's another really nice card against Esâ. Fut and Unseen, okay. I'll just do Nuka run Archives. A bit scary. If it's an enemy, we take 2 damage. Nuka puts us up to 4 cards. It's fine. She doesn't get an Ayuko counter. It's a Samak. Okay, so in theory here, we can just simul chip the garbage fermenter to go get our cat. Our cat breaks us for 1, does a core damage. Core damage hits the Strike Fund. We pop off. I think I'm going to do that because it's fun. And she is rezzing this for some reason. It puts us down to 2 cards in hand, so we hit a Fuji. We're okay. I'm going to do it. Big cat. Okay, we lost the Ghost Tongue. Fine. We have only 3 hand size, so our margins are actually pretty narrow. We did draw a hand size card. Sabotage. Imagine they're a measured response. I think they're probably on measured response, which means, oh yeah, we lose the game actually. We probably shouldn't make this run. Yeah, we could like strike fund and then just say blend the waters at 2-2. But yeah, we might just straight die to measured. We'll see where the sabotages come from. If they're from HQ, we'll jack off. Jack out. I read it's off simulchip and I said jack off. I'm so sorry. 2 from R&D. Okay, so full random. Yeah, so here we technically don't have to do anything. We could just bounce. Because yeah, if we find a single agenda, she's on measured. We don't have 8 credits. Oh, we already made a successful run though. Oh, but we're not on threat. Yeah. I've said that before. Everyone has. It's cool. It's like when you say orgasm instead of organism. It's just a thing that happens. I think we just let this fire. I don't think we're gonna break it. Bad time to join stream. You mean good time to join stream? How you can do and run, end the run. I'm just gonna take a credit here. Yeah, I don't think we have to risk dying to measured. I think we're in a good spot. Hey thumbs, spicy stream. I haven't catched up on you, please. Your stream title name, Eric, has been really good. It is a blend the. Oh no! Oh, okay, that's fine. So blend the water was in archives. So we're no longer really. Oh no, she could like Hansei into double. But yeah, we did not. This is fine. We gave her 3 points, so it was a Regenesis. I think that was the only other card that made sense. But it's been hard to read her her play because she's been throwing out cards in ways that I don't think I would have called. I don't know what I can make it make sense out of her hand. No marrow, so what is she discarding here? Oh, she's just discarding, excuse me. What's up? Yeah, for sure. What was the question? What's the website? Is the stream on? It's on YouTube and Twitch. Both of them the Métropole Grid. And then obviously, oh, right on. What's it called? Kentucky.net. Which is the free place you can play Netrunner. All right, she wants a petty cash first. That puts her on 8 credits, so it's not a huge difference because she still needs econ card double measured if she's on it. We've seen no influence, so she could be. Nick and I were sitting next to each other trying to figure out a stream name, and it goes A2 Plutus, all excited that we realized that bot name is deck exactly that. Yup. I'm like pretty sure like the Tag of War one was like so good. I'm like, I was pretty convinced I've used that name before because it is so good. And then I don't think I did. But yeah, the sort of like catchy fun name meta is like, I don't know. I've been grinding that grind for a long time. I'm glad you're picking it up. All right, let's go. We can install a marrow now, and then we can run archives. That puts us at probably enough hand size that would have to be double measured, and even then, hit the strike fund or that. I Google your channel for A2 Plutus first because it sounded familiar. Yeah, you just need to put a script that just like searches against the Métropole Grid. We're gonna have a Mystic issue. We could Wildcat Strike, and if she gives us money, there was 1 from HQ, 1 from R&D. I don't think I like how we're playing this. So she still could have double measured. We could run the double measured down. We don't have to run archives this turn. So let's see what happens. If she gives us card draw, we'll run archives. If she gives us money, we'll also run archives, it turns out. You better believe it, we're running archives. All right, now we have to run archives. Otherwise, we're going to discard discarding cards. What are we discarding here? The Leech, the Begamut, the Marrow. So we can take some damage here on archives if it's a Fuji. Meanwhile, rigging up stream titles. I think they're similar. Apologies, it's been a minute. Nothing but all the good cards, all the barriers we have purged. It's fine. So we're gonna be discarding only 3 cards here, which is acceptable. We don't need Marrow or Begamut. Leech doesn't seem super important. Pray for my child, Cybersand Harvester, and free killing. I mean, that's pretty good. I'd click on that. All right, so agendas have to be somewhere, and we've gone through half the deck. We've only seen 5 points. So her hand probably has them points. The Botu is dealt with for credit, so she doesn't have a remote server. And all the ice that we're scared of besides Diviner, which rolled the dice on that one, right? Yeah, we're at Fuji hunting time for sure. The Steel Skin and Strike Fund, or I wouldn't say burning a hole in our pocket. but we can just face check HQ. We have seen none of our Chestushkas, so they do be coming when they do be coming. And money's bad. Besides that, things are good. We could draw raindrops here. So I'm going to Nuka first for Econ. Okay. And I think we just run both of these. We'll start with the spin. Or the spin like. It's a cohort. Can't have that. So now what's in the remote server? I don't care about our cards in hand. There's nothing that makes a run. We could, in theory, Katurga to convert it to a different card, but we should do it on a turn where it's free. Breaking this for 1 is so funny. Bladderwort. I would say that actually she can have that. So I don't think we want the Ghost Tongue. We lost most of our hand cards. The Katurga is the card that gets us into our Ashen, which like I could see us early Ashening in this matchup. Wildcat, she's been giving us money. Strike Fund is more consistent money. I think we'll just do Ghost Tongue Wildcat because we have Nuka for draw. The Botchless actually probably is not very relevant. If there's a Code Gate, it's one that we can probably break for 3 credits on the face check. If it's like worst case, it's a Fly Swatter. And then that's not amazing to Fly Swatter, at least on the turn it matters. Yeah, so in theory she could Oppo us and then Bladderwort has text, but like I'd rather just have her have this in the server and we never have to check it again. And then she has to spend at least like 2 credits making a new server. Hey, maybe that's a fallacy. Maybe that's when the Bladderwort gets good. We also did trash, so we could get Oppo'd here. It could be a big Oppo too, which turns on a Bladderwort, but if that's the case, I'd rather have our money. On 5 cards in hand, like we can always just like Strike Fund for 3 or for 4, excuse me, and then just clear 3 tags. We'll be fine. We do have a Hannah in this list. Oh, Moonpool. Uh-oh. She's popping off. Are we on game point? Yeah, her hand was flooded. She fixed it. 2 Fuji's going back in R&D. If this is a, wow, the 3-2, that's really bad for us. Oh, it's fine. It's just 1 point. That's totally acceptable. If that was like a longevity, we're in a bad spot. So now we just run R&D. If Begamot Pelongi as much as a thing, it could, I mean, Begamot's so absurdly good. Bladderwort, if we res an ice, she can fire it. We know they're in here. Drunk Demon Cat, Best Cat. I started reading the book and it was okay. Oh, we lost a Katurga, so we're not recurring her stuff anymore. I definitely want to read more of it. The first chapter was pretty goofy. We died to Bite. She can't pay for Bite. Okay, we'll take it. We could do Nuka to 3 and run back. She'll Bladderwort us once. If we just run it, I think that's also acceptable because there's not much she can do to us. And we lock the deck, which is useful. There's cards in archives. Actually, I forgot about that. It's here. The Diviner. We can't break it. I'll Nuka to make sure that we have enough cards in hand. She can't just like blend the water. So she's drawing through the Diviner. We have to watch under the chat because if he trashes the Diviner, like don't shuffle your cards with a Yuko. It's illegal because the ordinal matters. So she trashed the second card. So she has a Diviner and 2 unknowns. Diviner cares about odd. Looks at hand. Oh no, not like this. The Diviner is. Wait, have we not Bladderworted? What did Bladderwort? Oh, Bladderwort hit. Bladderwort hit the raindrops out of these 5 cards. Our hand was 2 Steelskin Strike Fund, and it hit the raindrops. That's sick. That's really, really cool. That's like pretty awesome, actually. That's unbelievable. 20% loses his mind. All right, 2 unknowns. Sorry, 3 unknowns. Botu is now 6 strength, so we do have to find out another core damage. The thing is, like, if she doesn't do anything, we don't have to do much. Like, we just take a Bladderwort every turn. It's fine. So that is probably not worth checking. What do we have left in our deck? We only have 7. No, we have 17 cards. We don't have to be conservative about this. But we have another Sure Gamble. We have another Raindrops. It just might be hard to empty a 3 Mystic. Hard to ender on Diviner. I know, we just run it down. Hopefully the Steelskin draws an even. Whatever, we'll draw cards. Okay, cool. So just Chestushka into HQ is like really good. That's an easy way to dunk this. We could check if this is a Spin Doctor first, which I'll just Raindrops it. I don't think we'd care about the face check penalty. Or like, yeah, the card draw for this. So we don't get the credits first, but it is a Bladderwort. I think we will trash that one. Now we can just do Chestushka. for 2. Sorry, she has 2. So she can res only a tattoo here usually. I guess it could be diviner. How's your hand all odd anar cards? I do think there is like there's a lot of even criminal cards, a lot of odd anar cards. If she's thinking this is probably maybe it's Ebola. Are there even cards in the deck? That's a good question. Ghost Tongue? Which is really funny, but honestly, Memory Diamond, Ghost Tongue, them Katurga, but it's Botulus, it's very few. They're mostly odd. Odd does feel more anarch. Marrow is 2, yeah. Building Jeremiah Kirby. We're playing Arkham Draft and having the best time doing it. And somebody drafted Jeremiah and their deck is only even. It's been so absurd. Every Kirby has been like draw 5. Yeah, Buzzsaw's 4 too. Yeah, that's true. Man, there's a lot of Arkham news, huh? We in? Arkham Draft? Arkham Draft is so good. I think a big thing is like with a full card pool, our decks are getting too powerful. So we just draft decks. And so you end up playing really weird, strange stuff. And it becomes like kind of like a roguelite where like you have to make your cards work. We just finished Drowned City getting ready for Circle and Done. Oh, sick. Circle and Done's really hard. Good luck, Alec. Played an ONR draft at locals this week and managed to pick up 5 big deal, little deals. Deck was sick. Did you win? I think I've drafted like that and still not won. But usually the runners that draft don't have enough ways to pressure you out of that situation. 1 from HQ, 3 from R&D. Okay, so she has 2 credits, but Bladderwort should be on 3 credits. We can check archives relatively safely. I don't think she's on measured anymore, but we've seen no influence. So if she measured, she has to do like planogram measured. We'll be fine. TC is my favorite is Return to. I am currently playing Return to Dunwich Draft and then TCU with only Mystics. It's fun. Running deck has the Click to Tutor and Magnum Opus. So I said I had that exact deck with the spring, what's it called? The Short Circuit. And then the, okay. So Fuji hopefully hits the Steel Skins and the Strike Funds. We are on game point. We've only seen not enough cards. Double Steel Skin? I mean, let's be reasonable here. Okay. So now that we lost double Steel Skin, measures are more of a problem. We don't want the Marrow. The Simul chip actually is useful because we can flicker the Begamot, which is interesting. We do need to get another way through the Botu, but that's why we're happy the Bladderwort's here. We're going to take another damage, so we might lose something. So I think we just discard the Marrow and the Simul chip. Yep, cool. Works for us. She has 15 cards left in R&D. Soon to be 11. And again, we've seen only 10 points. So amongst the last 18 cards, there is 10 agenda points. So again, we can find any agenda we win at this point. We've seen all the Regenesis. So the deck is probably 3, 6, 9 on Fuji, 10, 11, 12 on Regenesis, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 on Blood the Water, and then 1 Longevity. So we're assuming the deck has 2 more Fujis, a Blood the Water, and a 3-2. I'm down to finding Edge of the Earth and SK campaigns. SK might be a give up. Scarlet Keys? I mean, it's not my favorite box, but I know why you'd want to hunt it down. I also collect cards. Lost the core game I played because the runner touched an agenda with government takeover numbers on a single on the top of R&D on the second run. You enjoyed Scarlet Keys? Oh, you played Scarlet Keys, so you know what it's about. It was easily my least favorite campaign. But some people like it the most. It's like very divisive. I just am like pretty critical when it comes to open world stuff. There's a lot of bad open world stuff. Starting your Drowned City campaign tomorrow, Pat. Have fun. Are you playing the decks I recommended? My tables campaign runners got so lucky finding literally everything at a random shop all secondhand. So they did a live stream just recently where they were talking about the new like format, and I think her name is Olivia, I want to say. But like she knows how, you know, people are their feedback to how hard it is to find product that's unfortunately out of print. And her like response was call stores that don't have an online store front and ask them if they have stuff, which is like, yeah, you're right, but that's not what people want to hear. I'm going into it with some dread from what I've heard, but my allies are excited. I'm Guns guy. Yeah, Michael McGunn. Is someone else playing George? Did you hand my George deck off to someone? Welcome back to Velma's Diner. I'm like, this is the things I don't know where I stand with Arkham anymore. Because, okay, obviously Arkham is changing a lot in the upcoming. They're changing their way that they're putting stuff out. It looks like we're not going to get full length campaigns anymore. Campaigns will be 3 scenarios long, which is ridiculous, or 5 scenarios, which is also still a bit too short. And I do think like more product out more consistently is good for content creation. Like there's more to talk about. That's fantastic. I just am like at the point where I'm a hard sell to understand how this game, where one of the best things about is the gradual upgrade of your deck with this RPG-esque system, how that works in a 3 scenario campaign. Like it just doesn't feel like it'll be Arkham. That being said, I could be wrong. They've done some good stuff, but I think the other thing is like the last 3 campaigns that they've put out, which were from different people, 2 of them are like some of my least favorite campaigns. So like I was so much more excited about the idea of Velma's Diner. It feels like 6-7 months ago than I am now. So I might just put Arkham on cooldown for a bit and see, like, just let myself calm down and see what things look like. Join me in the Valley. Earthborn is so good. Honestly, I'm cooling down on Earthborn too. And maybe the problem is I'm playing solo. I haven't played the new box yet. But I think one of the issues I'm running with Earthborn is I was like spending so much time just entering a location, doing one test, leaving a location. I do not know what this server is. This is nothing like the Netrunner situation. No, it's not. Wait, what are you talking about? Campaigns are going to be 5 scenarios. Patrick, every second you'll get a 5 scenario campaign. Every other year, you'll get a 3 scenario campaign. I think calling that a campaign is kind of silly, considering some standalones have been 2 scenarios. But yeah, that's the new news. They've fleshed out what their products look like, all that sort of stuff. So we lose if she scores out a Regenesis, not possible. If she scores out a Fuji in their remote server, which she would need a bunch of stuff. Upgrades in these lists, probably like a Mitra, that'd be bad. Does feel like they're alienating the existing player base for Arkham to try and pull in new people. I think they have to. Well, no, hold on. I think they don't have to, but I think they have to appeal to a newer audience. And I think a lot of the older audience that wants something that they've grown up with are curmudgeonly, and maybe they will give up, or maybe it's up to the Arkham people to convince us that this is newer, better. I don't think they've been doing a good job at that, but for what it's worth, I think these decisions are entirely like financial and by necessity. So like my sympathies, that just is the way it is sometimes. Do we just Chistushka on archives? Yeah, can we send? I think we just Chistushka on archives. I think we can not care about the consequences of our actions at this point. Maybe some of the campaigns can be linked together. I mean, you could always link campaigns together, but it doesn't sound like they're going to be linked the way that you think they should be linked, because it seems they said that you will get amount of XP at the end of one scenario or one campaign from a 3 scenario campaign that you would get from a big campaign. So you can still link scenarios together, or link, campaigns together in the modern day 2026. It's just like nobody wants to play 2 campaigns in a row with a deck that's already at like 37 XP and doesn't want to upgrade. I don't know if that's a reasonable number. That just picked a number. You know what I mean? It's like one of my favorite things is retiring a deck. But I also, one of my favorite things is upgrading a deck slowly and finding and exploring it, as opposed to like, here's 3 scenarios in a campaign. You end up with 37 experience. Did you buy a 5 XP card? There's a chance you didn't see it in the last scenario. So you didn't see it in the whole campaign. I don't know. We played 2 campaigns and it took us months to do one. So there's tons of good H ahead of me, regardless of how things turn out. That's the thing too, is like, I have so much content that I can play Arkham Horror for the rest of my life without buying anything new. And like, that's fine. MJ built these in a cave with a bucket of scraps, gesture to 6 8-bar campaigns. I mean, yeah. Man, and this is the part that's like the hardest thing for me to get my mind over. Old Arkham, which is totally out of print, so sorry for the sentiment, is so good. It's, I think, better than a lot of the newer Arkham. But the question is, how did we get there? Like, is it that different, or am I just weird? Like, I don't know. I'm going to check archives. The rotation Arkham really made me drop the game entirely. Ignore the rotation. It doesn't matter. It's up to you to rotate. I honestly kind of want a rotation, but that's because our decks are getting too powerful, which is why I end up playing draft. Because it's not fun where you do like one action and it fires like 17 things and the turn takes like 20 minutes. Getting 10 XP at the end of the scenario is exciting, but I agree I want gradual hard one changes. Me too. That is just kind of what Arkham promised us. And again, we might be in a new Arkham that is better, or better for a certain subsection of people. It is hard to bring people into an 8 scenario campaign. I get it. Oh, yo, we saw 2 measured, which that's like kind of good, I guess. We die to single measured. I think we run HQ for a single, or do we run R&D for a single? There could be a Fuji in the remote server. She's on 6 credits, so we die to single measured. Her deck could be 3 measureds. We can't trash it from HQ. So if she's holding a measured, she would not throw it out. She threw out one of these measured, kept a card, so I think we have to run R&D and hope that there's a Fuji on top. We could be cooked here. We're playing a bit aggressively. You're glazing old Arkham so much, just putting Alec in so much stress and struggle. I know, I'm part of the problem. It's the worst. Sorry, Alec, you don't need everything. Good game. GG. There has to be points somewhere, right? But my assumption is the card she keeps in hand is the last measured because we usually die to that. Thank you, too. Last measured in hand. Because we saw no influence outside spin, so she might just be on all the measureds in the world. I guess it won't be decking dig too deep or let God sort them out. Wait, sorry, Pat. So why Maxine made Dream Eaters 2 shorter pension campaigns at the same time? The thing is, like, Dream Eaters is, this is the problem. Her hand was the longevity. Okay, so if we ran HQ, we would have ran. Oh, no, you did great. Thanks to the game. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, okay, so she did keep a 2-pointer in hand, which, like, my read was she would keep the measured, but maybe that tracks too. Again, 2 measured are 8. Spin Doctor's 9, 10, 11, so she could have a 3rd measured. I assume she'd be the 3rd measured. This, if we didn't think it was the measured, or actually if we had more money and we thought it was the measured, we would have run HQ. But that being said, like, even if it's not the measured, she sees 3 from the top of R&D. So maybe it's always better to run R&D there. Interesting, but yeah, we could have died to measured on earlier turn. It's Quentin Smith says. I don't know if that's the Quentin Smith quote or when's coming. Thanks for the game, eh? All right. Probably is Arkham Horror. Like, there is the Dream Eaters, which is 2 campaigns at the same time. They're both 4 scenarios. For a lot of people, it's their least favorite box. Rocky isn't a movie about winning. It's a film about fighting with the best just once. Oh, that's really kind. That's a very cool quote. Thank you, Luna. Thanks for the game. Hey, take care, eh? Oh, I hope we'll see you again. At least I can put 2 Deliverance in a deck. I'm gonna have a fantastic time. Hey, get some sleep. Ciao. Anyways, the 4 scenario campaign, I think, is actually a lot of people's least favorite, and it's because, while it does have good scenarios, I think there's some issues where the 2 sides don't interact in a very meaningful way. But, like, people don't want to build 2 decks at the same time, so maybe that would have been okay. I don't know. Netrunner stage fright is real. I remember splitting my DSS round with Bridgman at APAC 2023, and my hands were shaking so much I couldn't type GG. No, get out. That's such a good story. The overhand of having to make 2 decks per player was a major bummer for me for Dream Eaters, let alone the toggling back and forth, losing focus on what the deck was supposed to do. Yeah, I think that was an issue, Eric, that I know I had, especially because I was building multiple decks out of the same collection. So it would be me and my partner. We have to build 4 decks at the same time. So there's a lot of like sleeve transferring and stuff that you just didn't want to do. What was complaining about campaigns being too long? So I guess we're going to do full Arkham talk. Excuse me for a second. We'll get back to Netrunner in a second, but like a lot of people are talking about this right now. So my understanding is Arkham Horror has not been sustainable the way it has been for a long time. And it is. And it's no surprise it is, because one of the things that they had been doing, which like, I can't believe they were doing it like this, is once they moved from the model of having too many products, they put what used to be 7 products in 2 boxes. So there'd be 2 boxes, one that's like $70, $80, one's $90, $100. I also think, for what it's worth, a bit of part of the uncomfortable part of this conversation is we know this model is going to be much more expensive because everything's going to be much more expensive, but then we're also getting less content, it seems. So like that negativity is like pretty pervasive. But the issue is Arkham Horror put out largely 2 major products. And when did they put them out? A month apart, which is nonsense. Like that just seems so bad for content creators. It seems so bad for having global conversation. It seems so bad for having people invested in Arkham Horror. There just wasn't enough Arkham Horror coming out. There'd be 1 campaign at the beginning of the year, and then luckily next year you'd get 1. So what they needed to do, and if you ask me, this is part of what they're doing, they needed to decouple those products. The campaign could have came out in 1 month, and then 5 to 6 months later, you could put out the campaign, the player cards, and they can just be totally desynced. They're like talking about it like it's a big deal that the new player cards are going to be desynced from the campaign boxes. And if you ask me, I thought they already were. Like, I don't look at an investigator pack and think like, oh, this is an investigator set that like really makes sense in the Drowned City. No, they're just player cards. Like, it doesn't matter. They never really mattered. Maybe Bless and Curse technically show up in some of the cards and some of the mechanics of the campaign box. So that kind of matters. But generally you can play a box without getting the investigator pack. Like, it doesn't matter. Anyways. One thing they really need to do is make sure there's more product on shelves for content creators for a lot of different reasons. And that's a good start. I totally lost my track on this, but I do think putting out more things is super important. And this is one of the ways they can do it, is put out smaller products more commonly. I think this is a big success of Marvel Champions, which they have smaller products, but they do need to put out more stuff. That's for sure. And this is one of the ways they can do it. Unfortunately, it just seems like it's less stuff per stuff. like smaller campaigns. One of the big things they said, if you listen, is like it's hard to get people into this game because the idea of sitting down with your friends for an 8 scenario campaign, a lot of people are not down to do that. And so you're only left with the most hardcore. But the problem is the most hardcore is a shrinking audience, not a growing audience. For any game, that's how it works. And it does track over time that less and less, or fewer and fewer people are buying the later expansions. That's just gonna happen. And then you have to kind of reboot the game and put out a chapter 2 core set and hope that like stokes the embers again. So they're kind of doing that. And they're hoping shorter scenarios or shorter campaigns with maybe longer scenarios will bring more people to play more campaigns and grow the game. I think it's like, I get it. I think that might be a shot. I think for someone who's grown up playing, you know, spending months on the same campaign, it feels very different for me. But like maybe a more approachable Arkham overall would be better. I wonder if Marvel Champions is making them more money. I think it would be. Marvel Champions is also hitting that point too, though. Like Marvel Champions, if you ask me, is like a year and a half away from, maybe a year away from a new core set. But the bigger issue right now that Marvel Champions is having, which is not totally different from Arkham, is that when people get into Marvel Champions, they get into it because they want to play certain heroes because they like Marvel comics and stuff like that. But the issue is the stuff that was printed earlier, like when the game came out in 2019, 2020, that stuff is out of print and it won't come back. So if you want to play Captain America or you want to play Miles Morales, you can't. And that is causing a lot of tension in the community where they want them to reprint stuff. But also when it comes to Marvel, it's a lot harder because it's a licensing issue on top of like production and printing, distribution, which are all reasons why FFG is not able financially to constantly reprint the back catalog, which has dwindling sales numbers compared to what newer stuff would have. So yeah, Marvel Champions is probably doing okay. I think it's the sort of product where there's more people that don't have everything, but are okay playing the game without having everything. Like Arkham Horror, just about everyone wants everything, at least the people I talk to, because we're weird and hardcore. But for Marvel Champions, there's a lot of people that be like, I don't care about the hero. I don't need to get that thing. And like, that's fine. That's good. That's healthy. That's how the world should be. I've been thinking about getting into Arkham Horror. Hey, Duckland, how's it going? How's it solo? I've heard mixed things. It's not my preferred solo game. I think if I played two-handed, I'd like it better. It's a game that is exciting, intense, and does a good job with role playing. It has this sort of action economy of Netrunner, so all that sort of stuff is good. But in solo, the at least in my very small experience, it kind of constricts who you can play because you have to be able to do everything. I think as soon as you play even solo two-handed, that opens it up where you can have specialized characters and you can just play with more of the card pool. I think that was my one concern, is that like you have to be a bit super self-sufficient, and that feels like it limits the card pool to at least the way I've seen it. Arkham solos are really swing or miss. They don't balance some scenarios well at all for solo. Some are just straight impossible. Yeah, I don't have that experience. I've heard that personally, but it just like feels like you have to play the same subsection of generalist characters. Two-handed solo is like 90% of my Arkham play. I find it very fun. Yeah, as soon as you go two-handed, I could imagine that. How's it going, by the way? It's me. Like that opens up everything. Where like you can now have like a dedicated clover and a dedicated fighter, which are two of the major archetypes you kind of want on any table. All the LCGs are better two-handed, I think. I think they are, but like I'm in a weird place where I play Marvel Champions solo one-handed like thousands of games, or 1,000 games, let's say. And it has problems. Like it's swingy. You also have to be self-sufficient. But Marvel Champions is a game where you have so much more tools to be self-sufficient because that's just the way the game works. I hope I get rope in above you. Duckland, all you have to do is just buy the new core set when it comes out March 20th. And we're assuming the new core set will be better than the old core set. They have a lot that they've learned. And if you like it, go deeper. If you don't like it, pass it off to someone. I like run 2 decks at once. Playing true solo is punishingly difficult. It can be. It feels like you miss one skill test and your whole turn's cooked, which that's another good thing about playing two-player or playing two-handed, is if somebody fails an important skill test, the other person can like bail them out. Fandom is just not helpful for things like decent game mechanics. What do you mean by that, Jeremy? Sorry, I'm behind on some chat stuff. Laura and I have been doing a chronological Arkham run through, and we've been keeping the available card pool limited to what came out with each campaign. How's that been, Kato? That's technically how I played stuff back in the day. It's hard because when you play Arkham Horror, it's a 2-month commitment and it dominates their entire weekly game night. Yep. And for me, I have an Arkham Horror group and I have an Arkham Horror night of the week. And that's the sort of thing, like that is a dedication that a lot of people don't have and keeps them away from this game. So yeah. I wish the industry could do more small product releases. Yeah, I think I would too. As a content creator, I really wish they could, but it's difficult. And I understand that it's difficult for a bunch of reasons. I'm hoping with their new distributor, those avenues will be a bit more open. It's kind of why the cast fell off, to be honest. Busters also went on hiatus for a while. 2 boxes back to back, then nothing for the rest of the year isn't great for consistent content. It's terrible. It's really quite bad. Man, the old model like had some problems, but It was like television back in the day. Like you had a thing that week or that month, more accurately, that we'd all talk about. It was kind of cool. We played Rougarou last night. First time I enjoyed it. Rougarou is sick. We recently replayed Rougarou this month as well. It was great. I built for me, my wife, 4 decks. Yeah, that's what I did. Post TCU campaigns are much better digitally and very unwieldy in paper. Afiel, how's it going? I don't know if I have that experience. But yeah, like Drowned City, I don't have that many good things to say about. Hemlock Vale was actually pretty cool. And I think people look at Hemlock, like the conversation is really weird. People look at Hemlock Vale to be like, oh, a 6 scenario campaign is really interesting. And I get it. But again, this campaigns are going to be 5 scenarios. And then half of them are going to be 3 scenarios. Like even the longest campaign is going to be shorter than Hemlock. So like, it just seems like we're so far away from that touch point being relevant in this conversation. But like Scarlet Keys totally missed me. Not Circle. I don't know. I've been replaying even Dunwich. I find really charming for certain reasons that seem to be different in modern campaigns. And I think understanding why they're different, maybe it is just, tinted glasses, but they do things differently. All right, I'll catch up on chat and then we'll move on to Netrunner. I apologize for this. I wish they had done a true second edition. The in-between means we now have the weird position where we have a decade of knowing what Arkham is, how it's played, so we look at Fedora and laugh. And we still don't know. Like, I don't know if we're meant to laugh at Fedora because they haven't done a good job explaining their expectations for second chapter. Is second chapter meant to be a reimagining of the power level? In some ways, it seems obvious, right? Like we're losing Dr. Milan. We're not getting Machete back the way that we had it. Like there's some powerful cards either that were super powerful in the core set or still relevant, but then they're still reprinting Magnifying Glass and they're reprinting other messed up zero cost assets. Like I don't get it. I don't fully understand what we're trying to do here. That I do wish in some ways it was not compatible with old Arkham, which would be the worst alienating move, but also then people could walk away and feel kind of complete. Calling Hemlock 6 seems disingenuous. There's a lot of in between stuff. Yeah, but the in between stuff is the worst part. It's the part that makes me not want to replay Hemlock because I do not want to do the day missions. Not the day missions, the like hang out in town stuff. Because they're cool and they're charming and they're really effective the first time you play them, but they're not worth replaying. I wish there was a way to automate those things. It's been really fun. It does feel like the investigators are balanced to their respective campaigns for the most part. So the simultaneous release makes some sense to me. Yeah, I think you're right about that there is some balancing between. I do think there's some investigators where if you play them in a certain campaign, they're like nearly unplayable. Like playing, I think it gets a shout out. Playing Patrice Hathaway in Hemlock Vale is a disaster. It's the worst thing you could possibly do. Yeah, I think 5 is fine. 3 is what I don't like. I think 5 is like on the bottom of what I think is fine. 3 is definitely not enough. The fun thing, we're not using the taboo list the first run and the good doctor was busted. Yeah. Dr. Mullen's really, really good. Anywho, that's my Arkham rant. It's just strange. It's like I'm at a point where I'm just gonna, hang all my expectations and my baggage on a coat rack, and I'm just gonna wait for a couple months until I hear enough to see whether it's good or not. I honestly don't know if I'll pick up the second edition. Probably at some point I'll hear it's really good and the campaign is really good, and then I'll probably pick it up. But like I'm at the point where I think I have enough Arkham that if I bought no other Arkham, I would be disappointed, but I wouldn't be like losing sleep over it. I'm hoping that the stuff is good, and hopefully if it is good later this year, it should be easy to find everything. But yeah, I don't know. I feel weird about it. Everyone has different opinions on the different campaigns. I like that they try different things. They do. But like, I think they started getting really weird at the end where they got everything in the same box and they tried some things that people really didn't like. But like the first campaigns before they went to the new model and everything has to be like on rails is some of the best Arkham. This is what I don't get. Why are people chasing this thing? People are chasing the open world. People are chasing this like non-linear narrative stuff. Do you know what's really good? Reading a linear narrative. Not everything has to be a non-linear narrative. In fact, non-linear narratives usually lead to unsatisfying conclusions. I do not understand this. The constant pursuit. If someone writes a good story, I will experience that good story multiple times and I'll have a great time every time. When it's, choose to go to Sweden for no reason, like, okay, cool. Anyways, let's talk about something else. Play Dark Matter and Call of the Plague Bearer. I played Dark Matter, liked it a lot. I thought it did some really cool stuff. The same friend who bought, what's it called? Dark Matter also bought Cyclopean. So I think that's the next one we're lining up to do. Earthborn did the best. I don't know if I'm that hot on Earthborn, but Dark Matter is really, really good. All right, things I want to shout out really quickly. So Lucifer put this together. This got posted on Reddit like a day after we did our stream. It's definitely not related. It's just like very good timing. But this is called Refactor 2096. I'll put the link in chat. But this is a website where Lucifer went through and found every ONR card and used their art, which had to be zoomed in so that the things make sense, and basically reformatted all those cards so they're like seemingly rules complete in current Netrunner. This technically takes like the card frames that look closer to FFG Netrunner, but this is all of the cards. They ended up in factions with influence, which like definitely was an interesting decision to figure out how to do that. But these are technically all the ONR cards printable if you want to add them to your ANR cube without having to hunt down ONR cards themselves, and then having all the rules stuff make sense and all the formatting be different. This is an absurd amount of work. Like, I'm super aware how much work this is. This is, again, over just about 600 cards. So this is pretty wacky. And even if you just want a quick way to read through what ONR was as like a history lesson, this is a way to do it. And you can see some of the wild numbers and some of the like the history of where cards have come from, and some of them haven't changed in what's now like 3 decades. So very, very cool project. Again, link of everything if you're watching the VOD is in the YouTube description. You just hit find more. This definitely needs a interrupt what's it called, flags on it. That's awesome. Clown being an Anarch program makes a lot of sense. But yeah, this is sick. How is Broker not awful? It's just you think Broker's awful? Emily, I don't know if you played back in the day. Caddy Jones was a staple in every deck. The only difference is that she cost 1 fewer and she's unique. This was a playable staple. And it's really funny because this is actually one of the cards in Netrunner where modernly we look back at and think that we were clowns for playing it. But this card is basically what Broker was, and this card was in almost every single deck at a period of time. Modern Netrunner is a lot faster. I think that's not true. But I think that's only not true because ONR was basically mostly combo decks. Every Caddy Jones player was clowning. I believe to some extent every Caddy Jones player back in the day could have played Armitage and they would have been better off. More accurately, this. Most of the times that you played Caddy Jones, you were a clown. A lot of times that people played Caddy Jones, they were actively a clown, where they spent like 4 clicks to make 6 credits. But it did do something to the corporation where you had an inevitability engine. Caddy was all we had? No. We had Armitage. Correct. We could have played Armitage. It was like almost as good as Caddy, if not better. In a lot of board states, Armitage was better than Caddy, and we just would not admit it. I don't know. I'd go back very quickly. God, the Caddy Jones hate club keeps growing. I mean, Antoine, you look back with those rose-colored glasses, and you just see rage. Yeah. How long before it pays you though? Well, that's the thing with Caddy is like the problem with Caddy and why everyone's dunking on Caddy is Caddy was not good unless you let her cook for like 4 or 5 turns. Because if you installed Caddy, clicked Caddy, then used Caddy again, and pulled her off the next turn, you spent 5 clicks to make 7 credits, which is really bad. Like, that's not good. So in theory, for Caddy to be good, you need to get her up to like 15, 18 credits or fire her multiple times in a game. And sometimes you did fire her multiple times in a game, that's for sure. But there was a lot of games where you put down Caddy, put 3, put 6, clicked it for 6, thought you felt good. And then you're like clicking for, what is it? It's like 4 clicks for 4 credits. Sick. Anyways, most Muppets players could have played Armitage. Yes, I do think that as well. The Caddy Jones historical revisionism is so funny to me. It is funny to me too, but like it's hard not to fall into that tank of weird Caddy revisionism. Saw Caddy's late game insurance kind of letting like a fermented cook forever. Yeah, kind of is like that. But the problem is you had to take the money off of Caddy to play the game in the early to mid game because otherwise you'd be left in the dust. So it wasn't actually like an insurance policy. It was the thing kind of keeping you afloat. It like makes smart word distributors look good to some extent. That is accurate. You could low Caddy all game and not get a fire because your oppo just windmill slams Astros. Yeah, that like some games were fast. The game wasn't as incredibly slow as you thought it was. Smart word distributor sucks and so much better. The difference with smart word distributor is like you need 20 turns for this to be good. Caddy Jones is technically good in a 10-turn game if you get her on turn 1. Hey, Bento. Cyclopean is the closest fan-made Arkham content to FFG campaigns. Solid fundamentals, nothing wild other than a mind-melting finale. My personal recommendation goes to Ages Unwound. Cool. I'll keep that in mind. I'm really excited to hear that from you because we're going to be playing Cyclopean. Hopefully we have, I think, 2 more Dunwich things to do. We also just played Film Fatale. It was all right. Okay. Anyways, shout out. That's sick. No single games. We've talked about this already. CBI is this whole weekend. I'll be back streaming on Saturday, and then everything will be here. So do a little subscribe-o to NSG if you want to. One thing I just want to show really quickly. Boom. I worked on some animations for the stream really quickly on the night before. This is a card. I did a little bit of animation work. There's some subtle stuff going on, but we don't know what this card is. This was first revealed on the CBI streams. I'm assuming this is a criminal card. It kind of mixes purple, so it looks like criminal versus anarch. My guess it's a criminal card. This card was labeled simply as Art 4 in a folder that had 5 other files. You can probably guess what their names were. So I have no further information, no artist credit. I have nothing, but this technically is a piece of art on the upcoming thing. I can show you the other ones if you want to see them, but we've known all the other arts because they were on cards in the marketing card fan. So there was the Wayland agenda, there was the Anarch, it looks like run all central servers thing. We're assuming Onsell 2.0 at this point, and the fifth one was Corsair. So they're really cool. Big Fart is the name of this card. Oh, that actually got me. Kenny Jones is as good as a 10-turn game if you played on turn 1, X to doubt. Turan, I'm only like 50% confident about that. Anyways, this is cool. Really excited to see this. It was really cool to get a folder with cards that we hadn't seen yet. So we'll see that again on Saturday, I assume. I don't think we're going to get any scoops on the CBI. Probably not. They learned from the Makoto and Gate image file and data mining. I mean, like, you think I'm not there every day digging in their folder structure, trying to mine for information? It's a CBI. We had 3 pods of folks. It was about 35 players in APAC pod on a Friday evening for me. Then the next day, I think there was 54 players at Americas. I just want to show you the jump here because I don't think I've seen ever such drastic a jump between 2 pods. This event, we thought I thought Op was going to be very well presented because people think Scrubs Op is a really good deck. I think it's a really good deck. I think we saw that to some extent over the weekend. This tournament had 2 Op players and like no Wayland players. And if you look at the other pods, it's buck wild. Now, this is really interesting. We get some interesting stats when it comes to the EMEA pod at the end. But this is like kind of what you'd expect. I do think Shaper like did underperform at the tournament. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 Shapers in the top cut. I'll have to double check that. But like, this is what you would kind of expect. Hoshiko, Sable, that, like, that's very, very standard. You follow this up like 12 hours later or whatever it was. Op now goes to the most played identity, and the Wayland part just takes up about half the graph. This is what I thought it was going to happen. What happened at APAC? Are all the Op players just on one side of the continent? This is buck wild. Op converted okay, I think. And then this chart is the beautiful harmony you'd expect. What's really interesting is Sable actually drops down below Zaya. I could be convinced that Sable would drop below Moosely Hot. I do think Zaya has performed relatively well at some of the recent events, like the New Year's Showdown. And I think maybe fewer people want to play Moosely Hot because we lost Dolls. But yeah, kind of weird. Zaya's on top as a criminal. I don't think I've seen that in a tournament in many, many moons. So that's great. And we hop over to the next day, and this is the information I have the least like vision on because I did not watch the entire event, unfortunately. But now we're still at Op and Ayuko and Epiphany being the top. Like, global meta makes a lot of sense. And then this tournament has more Hoshiko players than any other faction, not identity, faction. Hoshiko more than any other faction. I've been in the like, we should have been Hoshiko when Elevation came out. That would have been really, really cool. But yeah, wow. This tournament also had more players. So this one was the biggest one. This was 51 players, which is what you'd expect. Maybe we get some info about Worlds during CBI. I think last year we got news about Worlds around the end of January. Yeah, but I don't think it was CBI. I think we had once before, but I think we usually get Worlds news at the beginning of February, end of January. So I'd assume we'll get it in a couple weeks, but I don't think it'll be at CBI. You can look at the 3 bots combined on Maker's Eye. Yeah, I have Maker's Eye open in another tab, and I think we'll be looking at this. People always overcorrect for previous big events, so it's pretty predictable. But what do you mean? And it's also very much worth noting that people had to submit their deck lists for these pods all at the same time. It wasn't reactive. And once they submitted, it was private information. So it's not like somebody saw this pod and responded with this pod and responded with this pod. That's just what people did. We're going to look at, again, the top 5 players from every event. So here we have Pincel playing some really cool decks. We're probably going to see them next week, going 21 points on PD and Arasana, which is, I think, the most performing shaper at all the events. Tyrus on Sable and Ayuko, Epiphany and Lou, Op and Maggie. So actually 2 shapers making it in EMEA, and then Op and Hoshiko. No surprises here at all. This is kind of what you'd expect. Maybe the PD is the one surprise and the Ari is the one surprise, but Pincel, very, very, very good Netrunner player. Been playing for a long time. Big Pincel fan. Going backwards, Americas. This is kind of exactly what you would expect. Ayuko, Ob, Epiphany, Ob, like very much Worlds meta. Then we have 1 shaper, Hosh, Lu, Seb, Hosh. Criminal, not converting as much as like from 6 to 10, a whole wave of criminals, but this is entirely Anarch plus 1 lat. So very, very wild. Also 21 points seems to be the best you can get. I believe there might have been 1 fewer round here. I think there might have been 1 fewer round here. And this also very weird meta. So no shapers. We're looking at Ayuko, Leo, which, mind you, Leo really fell off post-Worlds, where Leo was considered a Worlds contender for sure. We got a Mirror Morph, which is interesting, and then Epiphany, Ayuko. Ayuko is, I think, the most converting identity across all the corps. That's my guess. We'll look at the stats here. Also know that my 3 losses were 1st, 2nd, and 3rd seed. I mean, yeah, got to beat everyone. Sorry, Jai. I'm not competing. World Scoops, Montreal Worlds. I mean, I'm hoping. I'd be really surprised if Worlds is in the States, considering everything. So I'm really hoping for a Canadian Worlds. I'm assuming we'll hear something relatively soon. If you watch the stream, go and watch EMEA round 8 loss versus Pincel. It's really funny. Okay, Lucy and others can confirm. I will check it out. Feel better about losing to these players so badly on JNet Casual. No, these players are really good. Some of these names I don't think I entirely know. No, actually, all these names I'm familiar enough with. Shout out to Arjorb Toronto. Just missing the cut, unfortunately. This is, I think, a Smurf. I don't know this name. I Googled this name, nothing came up. So either this is a new player who's like kind of killing it, or it's somebody playing under handle, which happens for a couple reasons. Cold Lava is playing a really annoying op list. Shout out to Cold Lava, always a Cold Lava fan. Ice Cream College also making it. And then Davs is a phenomenal player, not playing Esâ on Seb, which is really cool to see. And that's Newman also playing from the West Coast. That's Moon's a great player. Then we go over here. I'm less familiar, as you might guess, with European players. It's wild to see Minstrel on Op, not Epiphany. I know Minstrel as an Epiphany player in the last meta, so there's definitely something cooking here. I think if you watch the stream, you might know what this Op list is. Speaking of the cooking, it's the Cook. And then we have some Pernus, Tyrus, and Pincel, all very great players. Bullfinch is Gruntowny. Okay, I don't think I know that name either, so that's awesome. Really well done. I think someone dropped from the APAC pod. So Arjar made it? Oh, yo, that's awesome. That can happen. That's really, really great. You get a chance. So sick. We got another AUCO in there. No, that's awesome though. There must always be a big op at CBI. I mean, there's an expectation. So I don't know if we can combine these. I think we're going to really quickly look at it. Oh my God, it's already 10:35. 25. So I just want to look at some basic stuff. This is usually what we do. So I don't really, cut conversions turned off. That's nice. So we look at runner win rate. That's kind of weird. Mind you, at the New Year Showdown, almost no runner had a positive win rate. It looks like we are getting positive win rates. These are from left to right. And mind you, this is not a big tournament comparatively to some other online tournaments. So the data is going to be pretty loud, especially when you go to the right, because there's like 3 Moosely hot games. So that's not worth a lot. But if you look at the main contenders, like 33 host games, Sable games, yeah, they're still struggling to hit a 50 here. Seb, only 6 games. So it's not a big data point, but yeah, there's some trends here that like the hegemonic identities are not converting in a very obvious way on the runner side. Corp side, it's usually the total opposite, which of course it is. AUCO is winning majority of their games. Leo doing well, but these numbers get kind of silly. PD and RH, I don't think we saw a lot of RH, and almost all the RH games we saw on stream, RH was falling apart for one reason or another. I think RH was the preferred brew for a lot of like Glacier lovers. They have moved off Leo, but it does look like the numbers did respond to that. And I do think RH is a deck that also anybody can and will play. So there's a wider spread of people playing RH. But we saw a lot of RH games that RH just kind of pooped the bed, where they just bled accesses early, or the ice was not positioned well, or the defensive upgrades got overrun. Some really, really wild stuff. Has this changed from Worlds? Yeah. Because of the new ban list, because of the loss of false lead, the AUCOs are pivoting, but AUCO still has the 65% win rate they've had since like last March. The runner core balance, it has changed. Not so much since Worlds. I'd have to double check Worlds. I think Worlds was technically still corp favored, but it always feels like it's runner favored. It's always weird. Meta-analysis, open included tournaments, turn off New Year's Showdown and November AOT, and then you have this combined view. Meta-analysis? Oh, I see what you mean. Huh? Turn off New Year's Showdown. How? Make small. 1 weekend. I did it. Cool. Thank you. Very cool. Yeah. Corp win rate higher, so we can look at all the events all together. Very, very cool. This will give us better data to look at. Why not bar chart? I like bar chart. Why not bar chart? Included Tau, excuse me? Is beneath the filters? I did it though. I did a good job, right? I did a good job. I did it good this time. I think RH can feel very at the mercy of variance. It does seem like it. And we have a lot of decks that are like score this agenda first to do something good. And that actually has a lot of variance associated. A Yoko targeted by so many bans at this point and still being 63 win rate is nuts. The deck is really good. I do think we should have more corporations that kind of feel like AUCO because it's fun and powerful and interesting. There's also like a lot of different AUCO builds. You don't know what you're playing against. I don't think we're at the cheese sort of board yet, but I don't know. I don't mind it. I just wish there was more corporations that felt like they had as much agency. And I think Op is the big winner with 59%, 65% win rate, followed by Yuko, slightly lower. Then we have a wild, I think this is like the delta, like the expected range, but there's only 14 games here to look at. And so these numbers kind of, no, why is this 14 games? Oh, because it's sorted by win rate. Interesting. Let's sort by games played. Oh my God, a lot of PD games out there not going well for anyone. Yeah, that's cool. I'm not good at chart. Very bad at chart understanding. I don't think I should struggle with this, but left to right is a win rate. Oh, and then opposite win rate. Okay, so the best thing you can do is have the highest number in the top right. So it's a Yuko. Corp brand distribution. With this data got too much for me. And then if we look here at the runner win rates, Seb, which is probably not the most popular by a mile, but Seb win rates are really wild. I think Seb is one of the decks in the modern format that if you do not play around it well, it eats you. And I think less people have on average good Seb game plans. I do think that matters. Like if you play poorly against a Seb can kind of do that well, as opposed to if you play poorly against a criminal, yeah, they can kind of goof you, but more people have experience into generalist criminal. I think Seb is a bit special. Yeah, I think Seb is really, really good, but tricky to play. Arasana, again, not a lot of games, high win rate, mind you. Some of this data might just be Pincel doing Pincel stuff. And then we have some interesting things like lubing was high. But again, a lot of the identities we're explaining the most, like if we hit games played, this will curve upwards, right? Like Hosh, Sable, Lat, it's curving upwards. Where the first popular runner that has an above 50% win rate is Seb, which is like significantly above. Yeah, Lockmanos, how's it going? This is all CBI stats. I'm struggling to understand graphs. This is probably Seb. Yeah, Seb's out here. So high opponent win rate and also high Swiss win rate, the high Swiss win rate. What is this point? The Baz that has a really bad opposite side win rate, but a really strong runner win rate. Very frowny. This is probably just like one or two players. Apologies if you feel called out there. Very cool. Ayuko is the core poach. Genuine boggles the mind how many cards those have put in the binder. Yeah, but like Hosh is boring. Ayuko ain't boring. Ayuko makes exciting games. Like, watch any of the Ayuko games on stream. They're usually hella hype. Like, very, very cool. Fast advanced combo lines, people playing around death, taking risks, unadvanced, unres cards really matter. Like, Ayuko's kind of cool. I've kind of come around to it. It's because I understand more how to play into it than I did back in the day where it just was ruining you, drawing 4 cards a turn. But like, I have a lot of good things to say about Ayuko, and I think it actually should be where Corps should be aiming for, as opposed to what needs to be brought down. It can be brought down a bit, I guess, but cool. Anyways, events were good. Shout out to this weekend. It's coming up. Saturday starts at midnight in most of Europe. It's like 6 p.m. on a Saturday, and I'll be streaming the first couple rounds with some folks, I think. Ayuko's modern CTM games are sick, but I think the CTM games are more boring because a lot of CTM games end up in like tag storm and like repetitive trashing, and Ayuko actually like tries to score out a bit more aggressively. But yeah, the modern CTM is the best way to talk about it, where it's asserting things that people are so tired of it, especially on the casual format. But if you get like some grinding competitive sicko and tell them you want to play Wizard against CTM and they light up and be like 100%, I play this 10 times in a row. Like that's an interesting thing to study, and one group is not more correct than the other. But yeah, keep scrolling. You don't need to see my new data visualization. Wait, is this your data visualization? This? Wait, what is it? This is all good stuff. What the heck is value? What is value? Ayuko has a lot of value. Minus Seb. Minus Seb. It's at the bottom is me. This? What is value? Seb, very good. I'm assuming value. I don't know what this is. I don't know also what a Markov number is. This is a matchup matrix, right? Neat. Very, very cool. If Lucy made this is quite nice. What the heck is value set every card game player? But I can explain. You see, there's a thing called tempo. Will the company's win rate lead to more runner cards being released from the ban list? Steven, what company's win rate? Which company? This is a good value number. I think when you're building your deck, you definitely want to have a good value. The Markov number, getting close to 0.12. I don't think you can ask for better. Yeah, like look at this Markov number. I don't know what that means. That's fine. I think it's great. Cool. Let's do some player profiles really quickly. And I think we're going to play the Synapse deck, which is what I really intended to do today at some point. From Kikai, who is our Circuit Breaker, will be playing. And so probably did a write-up about Kikai himself. Have a high value, you need to be good at beating other decks that are good. I mean, you've described value in Netrunner. I love AUCO so much, my most played deck by far. I just wish other decks could do more. Hopefully next set has some banging IDs. Yes. The difference between AUCO having agency and the other Corp decks, you can feel it. Corp win rate above 50% on banned World Tree. It's kind of like strength of schedule. You're right. So Circuit Breaker Invitational, shout out to Kikai, does great stuff, let alone all the other folks who help with this website. I think there's more than just Kikai. The exclusive tournament with invitations awarded throughout the year to winners of industry sanctioned events. We know this. Who are they? What are they up against? So this is the CBI breakdown. So America's APAC EMEA have their own sections and they all kind of touch. The Waylands are scattered. 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like a third of the field is Wayland. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. More than a third of the field is AUCO. It's it's like 6 of 16 is just AUCO. It's the only Jinteki to convert. So RH did a terrible time converting. They had a much better time at Worlds. I don't know exactly what that is. The only NBN is Epiphany, which is fine. It's hard to keep Epiphany out. Some of the Epiphany games are pretty interesting. And then we have a smattering of some small HB stuff, 1 LEO, and then Pencil playing PD. It's very small in terms of IDs, but I think it is a diverse enough field where there's a lot of different problems you have to deal with. Now the runner side, the Hoshiko section. So I think Hoshiko is going to get the sort of AUCO treatment, where Hoshiko is actually only 5, so the op treatment of 16. There's a lose, there's Sebs, so like 3 lose, 2 Sebs, pretty good. Criminal, kind of dropping the ball. Actually, Criminal's less represented than Shaper. I'm kind of surprised, but there was way less Shapers playing, so the conversion rate was a lot better there. 2 Sables, and then everything else is Shaper, which we have 3 different identities. It's very much not Aleo, it's Markov chain. Like Elio, ELO, excuse me. Did anybody ask about CBI numbers? I was wondering how much no H2 CTK would affect invites. It felt like it did. My vibes check is it did. I remember that we used to have almost, I wouldn't say twice as many, but this seemed like the smaller CBI in a long time. And the prizes were really good. Oh, hey, maybe this is bad to air my laundry here, but it's not an air my laundry. It's just like something to talk about. This is not laundry. I shouldn't have framed it like this. I think as someone who's running a stream and somebody in which we have spectators, like we want to put games on stream for people to spectate. I think the current way that we're doing things is not great at presenting smooth television. And I think you might know what I mean if you watch a stream in which the first like 2 to 3 minutes of a game is us struggling to find a table. Somebody has to be sent to ask for consent from the table. And I want to be very clear, consenting to be on the stream is the most important part of this conversation. But I would be very like, I assume that if you sign up, so when you sign up for a tournament, part of the entry has a little box where you can check, I do not want to appear on stream. I want to be very clear. If you do not want to appear on stream, hit that box. You should not appear on stream. However, if you don't hit that box, why aren't you game to be on stream? Like, why does the second consent thing have to happen? I think it's good, probably in some way, but it's like making jumping between from table to table really incredibly difficult. My assumption was if you've not hit the checkbox, you were good to go. I think there's still now a second level of checking, which like, what do you all think about that? Like as people who play in more tournaments online than I do you appreciate that? Is there an assumption that if you hit the checkbox, they can just swing the camera into your room without asking? But yeah, I found like there was a lot of dead air on like the stuff that I'm running where it's like trying to figure out to go into a room, see if the room is open. Then we have to interrupt their game to ask them, which I think that's the worst part. They're in the middle of like a paid ability window and you have to be like, hey, can you be on stream? And then they're like, why are you asking? We've already considered. Like, it's really seems like a bad workflow. Maybe changing to I'd be happy to be on stream or something. Yeah, but I think, so that's a cool thing to say. But I think the problem is you also, that seems like it's different than the box I don't want to be on stream. The box of I don't want to be stream should be there 100%. Again, that's the most important thing. If you don't want to be on stream, you shouldn't be on stream. We never put you on stream if you put yourself in that box, and we never put pressure on you to be on stream. The problem is for people that didn't hit that checkbox, there's still a check section, and it's like not good. I feel like we're annoying people, let alone the stream is bad. Maybe to make it opt in instead of opt out. No, it definitely should be opt out. But my assumption is if you've opted out, you are now opted in. You know what I mean? I can certainly see being tilted enough halfway through the day that I wouldn't want to be on stream. Yeah, I could get that, but maybe you should be able to change your like halfway through rounds. You can maybe now opt out. Like, yeah, there's probably some reasons where maybe in the middle of the game you don't want to be on stream because too much is going on. But then I think maybe you should just hit the box in the first place. I don't know. It should be opt out. I have the same opinion on organ donors. Oh yeah, I see what you mean on that. You're having a terrible day, uncheck the box. Yeah, like definitely uncheck the box. It's in your powers. You should uncheck the box. But anyways, I think some people are agreeing with me on this, but it is like, it feels like such a bad workflow to come and interrupt a game to ask people to be on stream. both in terms of like a viewing experience, but also for the people playing the game. They should just choose what the table is when they do the matchup and give them a heads up second to opt out then. We tried to do that, but then how's it going by the way, PTR? But the problem is like if the table starts and we're late, then we have to come into the game and ask. Like I just thought it would be simple enough where like if they didn't say I don't want to be on stream, then they can be on stream. On game creation, both players can select and change their minds. Yeah, maybe it's a box on the table, like on the table level if there's a box there so that we can just browse the tables and see which ones have chosen to opt out at that point. That would also be cool. And maybe it could be attached to your account. So when you're on the tournament on the opt-out, it automatically hits that flag. Like, I think there's a couple ways to do it, but the way that we're doing it now feels bad. Like, I just don't feel good doing it. Anyways, sorry, I just want to get that out there because this weekend I was like it did not feel good. No part of it felt good. Let's talk about some of these players. Thomas Haas, second at Mega City Denver. Thomas Haas has been a fan of AUCO since Elevation's release. I think Thomas had a deck list a week earlier or last year. Coming second to Mega City Denver with a touch-up, see how they run end of line. Yes, that's the list. This is the really weird list. It was like this kill combo that came out of nowhere. Thomas Haas had this deck list. This is the touch-ups for tempo for the kill line. Very, very interesting deck. This didn't catch on with the Makotas, but it's a very mean list. Jaden option's a good idea. I think it might be a fine idea that it's attached to your tournament account, and so there's some default options. I don't know. Part of tournaments these days is the stream. That's good for the game, so players need to help make the procedure smooth, even if they're opting out. Yeah, for sure. It's like we both have to be working with each other. I think at the end of the day, the priority is the players, and the stream should not disrupt the players. That's the part that I don't like, is we are disrupting players, and that makes me super, super uncomfortable. It was the tournament that won him an invite to the CBI. Yo, that's sick. And it was similarly lethal AUCO deck that got him first place at the APAC pod and a place in the top cut. Will others be hopefuls? Be reading what Thomas has in store. Runner deck, Alarm Clock, Sable, sick. Corp deck, Oppo, AUCO, team Logic Bomb. That's a West Coast team. Denver is not on the West Coast. That's interesting. Right? No, Denver's kind of on the West Coast. Denver's Colorado, right? Chris, yeah, shout out to Chris, big Chris fan. After narrowly missing on the top 16 of Worlds 2024, Analyzed Chris was top of Swiss at Worlds 2025, finished at 13th. For the CBI, he chose to run with a 7-agenda LEO build. He has switched to a much more polarized runner. I'm so surprised that Chris is on Seb, and I don't think I've talked to him about that choice, but like I know Chris as a criminal player, and changing to Seb with Marrow, mind you, which is like going to be an interesting tech call based off of how much lethality there is. I was so shocked to see Seb on, or Chris on Seb. I thought it was a mistake in reporting. But I'm like, yeah, he's doing really well with it for sure. I don't know whether the Marrow specifically improved Seb's matchup against Measured. Seb prefers to play on low credit titles, which can make him vulnerable to that sort of strategy, or whether it was more of a general meta call. But in either case, it appears to be doing the job. Chris won 3-0 with Seb during Swiss, being Mirror of AUCO and Op. Yeah, shout out to Chris. Chris is such a phenomenal player. Problem with Jaded options, it's only selected by the lobby creator, which would make it prone to human error in IMO. Yeah, I think you'd have to make it where the person who joins has to hit the button before the game can start. Like you'd have to add this extra layer of complication, which, yeah, it would be an extra layer of complication. Thomas Haas also came second at LA Mega City. Yo, Harp, how's it going? Oh, sick. Really cool. In person, I like to see a red-green chip to indicate stream consent that either player may flip red. For online, I don't know. I don't feel good about playing online. It feels disconnected still. Ed Weird, how's it going? Firstly, try online tournaments. They're fun, especially if you get into like voice calls and like chat groups, so it feels more social. That being said, when it comes to in-person tournaments, we know who doesn't want to be on stream, and because there's no like second match when the stream ends, we just go up at the beginning of the round because we're always on schedule and we ask somebody. Usually people that we would know want to be on stream, or if we don't know them, we ask. And if they say no, we go to someone else. In person is like not an issue because you're not like scouting people. You could technically have like a lanyard with colored the same way that they have lanyards to like, I don't want to be appearing in photography. That's like a lanyard that you can have, but it's mostly an online problem. Hey, Man on the Moon, it was really nice to do some commentary with Man on the Moon. I don't think I've ever done that. Apologies if I have. Man on the Moon, I like to listen to hear him talk about the game. Many people will know Man on the Moon as the TO of the iconic Showdown events. Others will know him as a prolific deck builder behind such hits as Shoot the Moon, PD, and Amazing Ob. Man on the Moon actually makes a lot of decks I like a heck of a lot. Man on the Moon has played Anarch at every event in 2025, but even he has struggled to find the perfect 45. Still, it's a good-looking list in the hands of a practice pilot. It can go all the way. Crew Charm Oshiko, like 48 cards. Mental Boast, Measure Response, AUCO. Sick. Williams. I'm going to say the soft J because that's how it is. Mega City Burno, that's how I am. Team Scrubs. Surveyor's calling Williams one to watch in 2026. One of the newest players of the CBI Top Cut, Williams has been on a competitive hot streak since Worlds, winning the November AMT and coming 12th at the New Year's Showdown. Most of his tournament success has been with Op, but for this event, he's playing a twist on the World Championships Epiphany deck and win 3-1 with it. I had like a small interaction with Williams today where there was this like Scrubs combo puzzle where there was like this photograph of a board state. It's like a pretty big board state with a bunch of cards and an agenda on the table, and it's your start a turn. You have 3 clicks and like 34 credits. And the question is, how do you score to 7? This is something that Scrubs put together. It was sent to me. I had to like think about it for, it took me a bit, and then I sent it back, and Williams graded my work. I nailed it, which is awesome. If you want to do some CI7 puzzles, maybe I can share that with you. But if you don't know the whole Netrunner puzzle, there used to be a Netrunner puzzle meta back in the day where we had really complicated identities, but it was a really cool op puzzle. I actually liked it a lot. The fact that people actually have to like walk around the space to get new tables makes it easy to stop people to ask before the game starts. Yeah, for sure. That sounds sick. It was really, really cool. I actually might be able to share the puzzle, but I'm going to ask for consent before I do that because it's not mine. Yeah, Arjor made it in. Sick. 14th at APAC-Con, 2nd at Mega City Adelaide. Arjor's tournament history stretches back to 2013. It contains a lot of top finishes at tournaments around Sydney, including winning Australian Nats in 2019. That's awesome. More recently, Arjor took home the title at 2 districts, and he finished just outside the top 32 at Worlds 2025. An Anarch player by habit, but it's his first event playing Shaper in more than 2 years. It's a good-looking lat list, but will be enough to dismantle the many threats at Yuko. Let's go, Hoop Machine. Hey, Aurora. Oh, that's awesome. Transfer lat. I saw so many people playing Transfer lat, and obviously it's converting, but some of the players that I watched playing Transfer lat, Transfer did not seem like it was worth the influence. I don't know what I'm missing. I probably need to watch more, but there was like a lot of different play groups that seemed to be like at the same time started playing 3 transfer lat with Onacom, and then playing very few resources so they could float the tag if it made sense in the matchup. Obviously, it's doing well for Arjor here, but the couple matchups I saw where the transfers were like, 12 influence in the deck, did not seem like it was the best 12 influence on that day. I'd be interested to hear if anybody who played that deck, why that was the meta choice and whether that was correct or not in hindsight. Bullfinch, aka Gruntauni, him. Mega City Lutz. Lutz, that's the mega city in, it was Lutz, Poland? It was like the early Polish mega city, right? That was the one. Yeah, it was in Poland. So there was like some LEO decks that came out from this. A big fan of flexible runners. It's no surprise to see Bullfinch playing Hoshiko, but he is only a recent convert to Ayuko. We got through that. He claims that he still feels like he's playing the deck wrong, but he went 4-0 during Swiss, so he's clearly doing something right. To quote his deck list right up, full steam ahead, let's make the runners make some hard decisions. Companion Hoshiko, measured response Ayuko. I feel really bad for a lot of players in Europe because I think the tournament starts at 1 in the morning, which is definitely not great. So good luck. Hopefully they get to sleep and they can measure their energy because they're going to need it. It's going to be a long day for sure. Similarly, Davs, 2nd at Worlds, 1st at Continentals at EMEA the year prior, or that year, 7th at American Continental Online. Davs had such a killer year last year. The list of Davs 131 top tournaments placements over the last year is as long as the Beanstalk itself, which he was also ranked top of. Davs is out here to show everyone just what it is that makes him Player of the Year 2025. With that goal in mind, he's playing a hostile architecture Ayuko. Whoa, we haven't seen that archetype in a long time. Build favored by EA Sports, paired with Seb. Of all the popular runner choices, Seb has the most polarized matchup spread. I don't actually know what that matchup spread looks like. Davs should make a short work of any Epiphany or Ayuko that he faces, but will he struggle to triumph over Leo and Op? I think Op is the matchup that I have the least data points in. My assumption is like I've seen some really good Seb decks pull apart. If they get a good start, can pull apart like mid-range Glacier. I think Elio might be a bit harder because there's some very powerful run events that Elio can interact with very directly. But I did not know that Davs was playing Hostile Ayuko. I have to really catch up on some of the stream. Cold Lava, who played at Cold Lava, I'm assuming was playing in Americas. No, Cold Lava played APAC, right? Cold Lava, 2nd at EMEA Online Mega City, is an East Coast regular who has almost exclusively played Op since the boat was first released. I've had the pleasure playing against Cold Lava in person, playing Op. He's played everything from Bladderward Prison to Eminent Domain Rush to Oversized Clearinghouse, which is what he's doing now. It is the last variant that he's chosen to play the CBI, paired with a 46-card Lou deck that wouldn't look all out of place if it was played in Oshiko. Clearinghouse Op. I mean, we saw it on stream. It's gross. Man, I really hate this card. Shout out to Cold Lava, that's sick. That's No Moon, him. Despite a bit of a hiatus, 2nd at Seattle Districts, That's No Moon coming in hot. When undefeated with Epiphany and Swiss after his After Image and Crew Hoshiko deck oozes confidence. It's a breaker suite that knows what it needs to break and has all the tools to break it in the most efficient way possible. Fair Corp decks had best watch out. I think we saw a bit of this at Worlds, only slightly around the top tables, even on day 2. But the sort of like Hoshiko that had a bit of stealth package that was playing Mantle to charge their twinning. It usually didn't play full stealth, like just after image stealth. It's like a very much value pile, and pile in like good term. It's really, really scary. If you are, again, an honest corporation, you cannot let them set up because they drip for like 7 credits every turn and generate 2 multi-access every turn cycle. Ice Cream College, 11th at Worlds, 3rd at Mega City, 1st at America's Online District. Also a killer player. After bubbling out at a string of Continentals, Ice Cream College was finally able to take his place at the top cut of the World Championships in Edinburgh, and here as well at the CBI. Ranked the #2 player on the Beanstalk, I'm not surprised. He will be hungry to use this opportunity to win over on Davs, his leaderboard rival, and to take his shot at the title. Ice Cream College is such a nice dude. Tiebreakers playing Onicom Lat and Measure Response Ob. All right, home stretch. EMEA Pod Pincel, he, him. Pincel's been playing Netrunner for longer than some people have known the game exists. An old-handed fast advance combo HB. How old are these deck lists going to be? And runners that installed cards at instant speed? Are we Da Vinciing stuff? Yeah, first at 2019 Nisei Worlds, Pincel has been playing some really good Netrunner, and like the sort of decks I love playing. Pincel is just the coolest. If you ever played Ricoco decks, what else we have? Hive Mind Max, 45 cards. This is before things got out of hand. Virus Max is one of the coolest archetypes that a lot of the NWE players played to incredibly high level. And then we have Geist decks, which again, German players. We gotta get on with this. Pincel is the nicest person. I haven't run into him since Barcelona, I don't think. Pincel's right in his element with Footgun PD and Illumination Arasana. I'm so glad he's playing Footgun. He doesn't play in many tournaments as he used to, but he's a fiercely competent player, and he will have all of the Circuit Breaker hopeful sweating. Yeah, this is a big boss. If you have, they're all big bosses. I'm a big Pincel fanboy. Tyrus, he, him, 8th at EMEA Continentals, a pillar of German Netrunner community. While he's not organizing tournaments for new and returning players, this is Torpedo Tyrus on JNet, right? Tyrus is out there cooking decks and making top cuts. This tournament is representing the hostile architecture Ayuko build favored by EA Sports alongside a triple Hermes Sable that wants to touch as much cardboard as possible. 3 Jailbreak, 2 Compilation, an Eero, and 3 Hermes is going to be gross if it pops off with 2x Reprise. That's just disgusting. Expect to see some explosive late game runner turns. Again, all these players are playing at like midnight, so that's pretty difficult. Sempernus quit Netrunner, first at Mega City Berlin 2025 in 2018, but returned in 2024 to play at the incredible EMEA Continentals in Bergamo. His win in Mega City Berlin was Mercury and Ayuko. Wild. Secured him the ticket to the CBI, where we find him coupling a similarly unusual runner deck with similarly proven Corp. I feel like this year, and it's because there was less COs than normal, and mind you, COs are meant to be the obvious ticket to a circuit breaker. It feels like there's a lot of more players that won their ticket off of some absurdly big event. It's a combination acid spam, acid hate meta call that secured him a place to the top cut while taking him away all the way to the end. Minstrel, lovely person, a player from Poland. Minstrel has been a Magdalene enthusiast ever since she was released, piloting knickknack builds to the top cut at both EMEA Continentals. With the latest Mags deck lacks in a compelling win condition, Minstrel asserts that Cataloger is definitely not it. It more than makes up with an ability to get the game early with cheap installables like Badge and Azimut. Badge is a really cool tech card. Against the field of Yuko and Epiphany, that seemed like a very smart way to build Striper, and the 1x Hush could do some serious work. Really surprised that Minstrel is not playing Epiphany, which very, very good at, and done a lot of work at tuning the Epiphanies we saw win Worlds. The Cook, oh, it's Cyber Seal, that's the Cook. Okay, cool. 11th at EMEA, 16th at EMEA, 8th at Mega City. The Cook is well known for his inclination towards flatline strats. They're designed to blindside the runner. I think I don't want to say this is the most flatline we've seen in a CBI, because it probably isn't, but there's a lot of lethality out there. Lethal brews are usually found in Jinteki, and the CBI marks his Wayland tournament debut, Eminent Ob. In this case, the blindsiding comes in the form of Stavka Afron. It's a trick as old as Perihelion, but it might be enough to secure him the title of Circuit Breaker. And finally, because my voice is cooked, 5th at Worlds Kikai, also the Circuit Breaker, probably should have been inserted there. Although he ran out hot with his back-to-back CBI and district wins at the start of the year, Kikai was looking pretty washed after the Elevation release. In context, Kikai wrote this. That is until a Trixie Falsely Yuko deck carried him all the way into the top cut of Worlds. Will a last minute pivot to Measure Response Op with a weirdly controversial 20 agenda points put in similar work? Or will he immediately find out the hard way why everyone's playing 21? Without any Swiss results to go by, I guess I will have to wait until the weekend to find out. Yeah, it's really funny that he doesn't have any points. I don't know whether that means he has the best strength of schedule if it comes to tiebreakers or not. Now tune in to NSG Twitch or YouTube stream at this time. That's about 3 o'clock on the West Coast. Yeah, it was pretty washed until a broken ass deck carried me to World Cup. I mean, like, that's a Kikai take if we ever heard one. But man, Kikai's interview also on what's it called? King's Court is really good. 1x Hush cooks a lot of decks now. I think they are. They're called CTKs now. You can't make me. No, they're not. No, they're not CTKs. Are they CTKs? I don't even know. Are they CTKs? Circuit openers became casual tournament kits. But then what are store championships? I thought store championships were COs. Kikai's Seed 1. Okay, sick. Kikai's final boss. That's awesome. Very, really cool. Anywho, That's a recap. My voice is cooked. It's 10:53, so we only have time for a couple games. Quick, there's no time to talk about it. We just have to play the deck list of the week last week, which is a Synapse deck, because I wanted to do that. I don't know if it's going to go well, and I have some things to say about it. Francie seems really nice. Him being on Audrey, wait, he's on Audrey Lat? I saw other people playing that at the tournament. I didn't know that he was on it. SC became CO, became CTK. We can just keep calling them store champs, I think. We all know these are. Yeah, that's the way that I see it. Okay, this was from last week where we were playing ONR. This is Franzie's 14th of the New Year Showdown Synapse list. Now, this list has some interesting things going for it. Firstly, nobody knows what Synapse does. That's going to help you. And I do think this being the deck list of the week was the worst thing this deck could have done for itself. Because what I've seen from this deck, and I've never played it or played against it, is that this deck actually does not have the teeth that you fear it does. This deck has one way to give you tags. Oppo Research. That's it. Whenever you're playing against Synapse, you're worried that there's 3 Oppo Researches, let alone anything else that can give you a tag to do something rude, but it has one. So knowing that, you can be so aggressive against this deck, and even if you do go tag me, the tag punishment in this deck is not super legitimate. It's 1 Retribution, which against criminals, that's a problem. Against Shapers or Anarchs, it's not super significant. Bigger picture could matter. It could take all your credits away. That's kind of interesting. Oh, we do have a maze. Yeah, right. But I don't think a tag punishment really matters. And then we have a Backroom Machinations, which can remove a tag to give it a point. The only other card that really matters is you need a way to deal with Starlit Knight. I think this deck did well because people were a bit scared about it. It's a very, very heavy rush deck. I also saw on the stream that I saw Francie play like Boomy, let alone Boomy and Fly Swatter, which 3x Fly Swatter, I haven't seen a deck in such a long time, did really well in the showdown meta. I think I saw so many Anarchs try to botch this or run through this or use Audrey, and Fly Swatter and Boomy are just very killer rush choices. I think that's very, very clever. And we need to be rushing all the time. This deck needs to score 4 agendas because it only has 4 2s. That also means a runner has to score 4 agendas, so that's some extra work. Some of these agendas, you can just never advance. And mind you, Synapse can install cards. So if they run a remote, take some tags, then they remove the tag, then they have to run the remote again. Otherwise, you can score out the thing with Seamless Launch. This deck is interesting, but this deck also looks to me like very much like, and I mean this with respect, like just ice and agendas. I don't see it, which is why I'm so excited to try it. It doesn't even run 3x Funhouses, which is kind of a weird thing because Funhouse seems like a really good way to make Synapse fire a lot. But our Synapse fires are actually kind of like metered. You're right, there's a maze. A maze can be beat. People are playing Cupulation. If you play Cupulation and grab the Maze Amusements, it doesn't fire anymore. And from that point, all the deck has is Oppo Research and Ice. So it is very rushy. But I do think people knowing what this deck is and what it's capable of is one of the worst things. Like publicizing this list was one of the worst things to do this list. Because I think this list needs to surprise people. But it's not been a while since we played a Synapse list, so I'm excited to do it. It can FA and Backroom at the same time with Holloman, Backrooms, and a 3-2. I mean, yeah, that's fine. I think they should just trash the Holloman. And then you can't, but I don't know. The deck has rush money. It also has a non-equivalent, which is very much rush money. Anytime someone plays non-equivalent, I'm pretty sure I'm going to face tank into like a Seraph or a Hydra equivalent, which is not the case modernly. But this deck is incredibly rush. I do think in the write-up, Francie wrote that there's some cards you should change. Like Janina might not be worth it. This is not a card you see. There's a couple cards that you don't see in a format like Synapse itself. But this is the most performance Synapse deck we've ever seen, which like shout out to Francie. That's totally sick. Let's give it a shot. When I play against Francie in the showdown, the deck had another way to tag, me floating a transfer well tag after seeing no tag punishment in many HQ and R&D runs. Did that matter? I do think also this is like a weird matchup, and this showed up on Neon Static. It's like the matchup into Seb is very, very weird, and I do not know who it favors. I don't know if it's one of those 60-60 matchups, but yeah, floating a tag or constantly taking tags is really tricky into Synapse because they can install on the wrong moment for you, and you have to respond to it. So you always have to install first. But again, once the runner gets all their breakers, our breaker suite or our ice suite is Ping, Fly Swatter, VSA, Boomy, and Starlit Knight. None of these are broken for more than 2 credits from the breaker suites you're expecting in standard, and that is going to be a problem. So we have to know that and be super aggressive to make sure that the runner is always on the back foot enough. And with only 1 Oppo, I don't honestly know if we can make the runner on the back foot enough. You lost your key breaker to Retribution? Oh, you're playing Criminal, I take it? I want to know how VP makes Synapse real. My hope is that it doesn't, because I don't want it to. I do think that on one of the last podcasts on Neon Statics, Synapse was meant to be one of the homes maybe for the upcoming NBN card that can fast advance or never advance really strong. I forget the name of it, but the one that has like the fully op condition. I think they said that's a really good reason because it can fill remote servers. But at the end of the day, Synapse is only as strong as the ways that you can give tags. And I don't think this game just wants to flood you with ways to give tags. And even if that's the case, I'm assuming other decks will use it better. I don't know. The only thing that like very obviously is like the real big Synapse payoff is that you can build one really big iced server, which is what we often do, and not install costs, which like it's not super healthy Netrunner in general. Oh, we're doing this matchup. This matchup is meant to be hella weird. I don't know what we're going to learn from this, but this ID is going to tag itself, which might be both good or bad. Best of luck. Have fun. So this is going to be a very strange data point. Flood the market. Thanks, Hart. How you doing, by the way? It's good to see you. Well. So we need ice on HQ so we don't get transferred. We definitely want to put some ice on archives eventually once we are a bit worried about the upcoming, what's it called? Praxis. Humanoid, we're probably going to find an operation before it matters. So we could just do ping on HQ. Sorry, VSA on HQ, ping on the remote, humanoid in there. Transfer could go through here. I mean, I guess we just don't res then and we can still res the ping. I don't know. I'm going to make a play. The thing is, like, all this ice is so easy for our opponent to face check into because every ice gives our opponent value. And by value, I mean lets them install something from their hand. Maybe actually we're not meant to put something in the remote server. So if they do take a tag and he removes the tag, then we can install the humanoid like last click. Whoa. Immediately, when you install the card, you have to reveal it. We also can remove Seb's tag for Seb, which is kind of funny, which actually does really matter if Seb is playing amanuensis. I'm really good, actually. Had a lot of good stuff happen the past week and a half or so. Yo, that's awesome. Congrats. I'm really happy for you. I feel like Synapse is one tempo tag source away from being pretty real. Yeah, but then it's hard to imagine that's not going to be relevant somewhere else. All right, we're running R&D. We're going to Gourmand to get an Audrey counter. Again, our deck is pretty good into Audrey with 3 fly swatters. We lost a ping. Audrey's big. Throw out a badge. All right. Humanoid, I don't know why I pre-res that. We're going to fire no matter what. We'd get a hedge fund. We can install 2 cards. So Audrey can get through this. That's for sure. But on 1 credit, the Holoman might stick. That's okay, I guess. We could put tomorrow's into an amaze. But like, yeah, this is actually kind of interesting. So what are we doing here? If we do Holoman tomorrow's, if it gets run, we could do amaze tomorrow if it gets run. Infist is going to end up with 3 tags, which turns off a lot of subtext. We could also just do Janina Holoman, and then Janina could do the flip, but Janina can easily be trashed by Audrey. This is really interesting, actually. If we had 1 ice here, we would definitely slam 2 ice and go, but we didn't draw a 2nd ice, especially if the ice is fly swatter, because Audrey can't break that on the turn. VSA is also good into Audrey. So I don't know if we just push and say, I don't care. I think maybe we do. So we can do install hedge fund, but then it's just like, yeah, let's do a maze remaster and not care. Oh, then we can't score it. Yeah, drown them in tags does something, but then our ice doesn't do anything, right? Like VSA is blank. They're technically blank, but then like it doesn't do anything. TH amaze IMO? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And just say if they're tagged, they're tagged. Play the hedgy. If they're tagged, at least the planograms are pretty good. But like I don't think we're gonna get that much value from a single back room. And one, what's it called? The other one. Wonder if they play around this being a fly swatter that ends a run. That'd be really funny. Okay, we res this VSA. We lose 5 credits. They take a tag. If they clear the tag, we can put a Holoman on the table. It's like kind of fun. Or even a Janina. So we're going to res this so they end up with 2 tags. And their ability does fire only when they take 1 or more tags if they had no tags. So it can't fire too many times. They're drawing. They could find a crew here in theory and open up HQ. This is the first transfer. So they're going to lose a credit and then they're going to take a tag. So now they can install a card. So they can install a double access with Emmanuel. No install is huge for us. They hit the remastered though. That's really bad for us. And now they have 2 tags and the money to clear it. They can run the remote server and end up on 4 tags and on 4 agenda points. They float a tag on amanuensis. So we can actually remove 2 of their tags. If we draw an ice here, especially if we draw a fly swatter, we just put an ice here. We clear a tag at the same time. Okay, we predicted we draw 3, gain 3, and I think we're going to clear 2 tags for them. We just need enough installable cards. We could also purge, but I think we're going to do this. So draw 3, gain 3. If we found the fly swatter, so we're actually going to use our button because they want to float a tag. The problem is we won't let them because Synapse has a button on it. You can remove a tag. So we're going to remove the amanuensis. And we're going to reveal the fly swatter. Sorry, we don't remove the amanuensis. Remove a tag. We'll put the fly swatter in server 1. And then we can just do it again. So we're going to remove a tag. And this is only once per turn? It's the first time? Okay. I guess we're not comboing out. But we've left them with no tags. They would have had to clear the tag themselves, but now the menu assist doesn't do anything. It might not have been the play, but like this matchup is very, very weird. They know what this ice is, so they know they're going to have to get a crew down to break it, and then at least we'll purge out the Audrey for the ping. But we're going to want a piece of ice on archives, hopefully a fly swatter. That should stop them. They'd have to crew the fly swatter, which we're happy about. Single here on R&D. If it's a trashable, they get an Audrey counter. All right, it's a VSA. We could just VSA R&D. We could haul them in server 1. We could also just score this and pass, but then we discard a card. So I think I'm just going to do this. So the next turn we can haul them in the tomorrows and then still jam at least the Janina at a minimum. The server's pretty safe. All right, so now they're going to run anything. They know about this VSA. All right, so we're going to res the VSA. They lose a credit, they take a tag. So now they can install a Manuel, so they're going to see 2. We have to trash the Manuel, unfortunately. So they trash an Oppo, the only Oppo. And now they're going to float a tag. So we'll trash the Manuel. We'll install the card that we draw here. Oh, we don't have one. We have 2 non-equivalents in hand. Why are we clicking for a credit? Gives us some padding. You're right, we definitely could. I don't know if we actually need to. Like, I don't think we're going to need that much more money. But we definitely have to trash this guy. Oh, we could have seamlessed. Yeah, we'll trash this guy. So we'll trash. So that's gone. We can remove the second tag, otherwise they remove it for free. It's really funny how much we fight backwards. The problem is when we put the Janine on the table, Audrey eats it, and we don't want that. So I guess we draw once for an installable, that's fine. And then we'll Synapse. I guess we did this in the bad order. We'll reveal the Spin Doctor, put in a new remote server. And they have no tags. Hallman scored Janina in remote. I think we needed to trash Manuel. It's usually only a 1 of. We're going to have to ice up archives, but Manuel is really, really bad because we're not good at keeping our opponent out. So we need an end the run on archives. But trashing Manuel, I think we'll take it. Maybe that turn we didn't have to do it, but it also gives them the ability to remove a tag clicklessly to draw 2, which we also want to stop them from doing that. You can do all 3. We can't remove all of their tags was the issue. We can only remove 1 tag and haul them in. But also if we score the haul them in, they get a tag. Which like I technically don't want to score at the headline. If we haul them in the headline, at least we're gonna immediately clear the tag. Like imagine that you give them the tomorrow's headline tag and then you clear it in the same turn. Which I think we will. I think we will actually do that. So I'm going to do Res Holloman, gain 4, tomorrow's headline. This is so funny. We'll score this. They get a tag so they can install a connection, but we can trash the connection. I'm now going to Res the Spin Doctor to get options. This is so goofy. Then we can Synapse, remove the tag, install the ice. So they know there's a Boomy here. And then we just put the Offworld in there. The heck is this match? I have cleared 4 tags for them so far. Retribution first. I don't think we care. They're going to float a tag later, and this Audrey's not doing anything. You're right, we could Retribution here, but I think we're just going to score at the Offworld. I don't think the Retribution matters. Like, they have 2 more Audreys. They have maybe Simulchips. They have Praxises. Like, I don't think this does anything. It can't run this server. There's 1 Praxis out. That's fine. I don't know if the Retribution matters. They're going to float another tag. And if they clear the tag here, we can install the Janina, which like, I don't know if they do a last click. I mean, I guess. They know it's a Janina. They run it and trash it for 1. We can always just take our turn to purge, but Manuel is back. So they can see 2 in R&D. They can flush HQ. So one of those choreographed fighting game matchups where they double KO each. It's really weird. So they're going to trash the Janina. I think that takes a click from them. That's fine. So we can Holloman Offworld, trash Manuel. They threw out a Devil Charm. 3 cards install Audrey and the runner's super low on money. Well, not anymore. So we can advance, score, jam. Man, this is such a weird matchup. We can score this. We're on 11. And then we can trash Manuel. Oh, but then we can't jam. So we can leave Manuel. They could see 2 in R&D, 2 in HQ. We could Retribution the Audrey, which again doesn't really impact running these centrals. But this server, if we down on, I think we just install the Offworld and like just don't care. Like, I don't think we actually Retribution this. Can't trash, they're not tagged. Oh, legit. That's good to know. When do they clear the tag? So they're just going to take the tag on this thing, which maybe we should have kept the off-world in hand so that we can install it halfway through the turn. Like, that's a weird thing, as you have to kind of guess what your opponent's going to do. Oh, excuse me. Okay, Valentina's down. She cleared the tag clicklessly. So in theory, we can interrupt to install a card here. We're not going to. So they see 2, but they figured out how to clear the tag immediately, which is really funny. Oh, they only see 1 because they cleared the tag. Wait, actually, I don't know if this Valentino is right. They could have gained 2 credits instead. They're going for a single here. So this will see 2 cards. It's not a single because now they're tagged. Seamless Retribution. I mean, now they're going to clear the tag, gain a credit. What is this matchup? They know the top card. We can always shuffle with Spin Doctor. There's only 6 more agendas and 25 cards. It's not the worst odds. This is such a weird matchup. I really want Ice on Archives because I guess there's only 2 more practices. They're discarding a lot. Solidarity Badge, Manuensis, Devil Charm. Okay, no, this stays. Oh, wow. If they float a tag, they lose. They know we have this. They can't float a tag anymore. I think we just score them, put them on game point. I wish we had something to jam in the remote server. Like, we definitely shouldn't have done the thing that we did here because we could have just put her in the remote server. So I think we just score this out. We have a click left. Actually, we probably should consider that. I don't think we play the econ card. I think we want to pad our HQ because losing back room to a Gourmand would be really bad. Then we should have like drawn first and then decided. So I don't want to draw last. Yeah, that was a bad turn. Turn was bad. Feels bad. We might purge next turn. They run R&D and they don't hit anything. We might just shuffle with Spin Doctor just to draw an agenda and put in the remote server. Break lock. This is really weird. I think they need to find a crew. Like, crew is the way that would be Fly Swatter. If they checked the Fly Swatter early, would have been better. Yeah, I think they needed to force the issue. This transfer doesn't matter. They have to clear the tag. Actually, no, they're going to have 2 tags here. Do we just win? Unless they install like a Hannah? But they're going to have 2 tags. They only have 1 click. They have to install a Hannah here, right? Oh, we win, don't we? They know we have this. I don't think they can make this play. Huh? Little Lemon just accessed it. I thought they accessed that from R&D. Did they not? But yeah, that's the bad thing to see after you've taken your second tag with a click left. So the only thing they can do is run R&D and C2, but they have to steal 3 agendas to win. How's Synapse doing this well? Have you seen this matchup? We're clearing tags for our opponent and it upsets them. Yeah, I think they must have forgot, but I'm pretty convinced I saw that on the top of R&D last turn. I don't think they trashed anything. But yeah, so the worst that they can do here is steal 4 points. There's no way we can lose because there's just no 5/3s in the deck. So that's a good game. Yeah, they saw this last turn. Man, 7 points. Hey, good game. Remove and install is really funny. GG. That's a weird matchup. Thanks for the game. I'm actually glad we played that matchup because it was genuinely strange. I don't think trashing the Audrey was wrong because, again, none of our ice really cared about it. The one thing that I guess we were weak to is specifically Audrey if they can get off. Well, no, because they have to like break both of these. Like, it's really hard to do Fly Swatter into ping because they have to like run this, force the purge, then trash something, then run back. Because they can't botch the ping. They also have to break the Fly Swatter. Like, I actually think what we did was reasonable. I don't know if we had to Retribution this. I think holding it might have been better. I mean, I can remove your tag and be happy about it, which is not what you'd expect. Yeah, we cleared a lot of tags for opponent. The tomorrow's headline to tag removal is like really, really funny. Thanks for the game. All right, let's do another one. That was weird. I do think that was actually really genuinely good on our part though. Like, it was a very smooth line that we kept. We drew well. Everything was clean. Let's do it again. I mean, that was the most fun I've ever had with Synapse. That's sick. Well done, Francie. Hey, Spencer, how's it going? How's your Thursday night? So, shout out to Netrunner. I lost my water bottle in a car months ago, And since then, I don't have a water bottle. So this is what I have, and it's a thermos. I used to take coffee to work before I worked at a place that just gave you coffee. And so I was going to the Netrunner G&K last week, and I was like, I want something warm. It's cold. And so I filled it with tea. And specifically, we have this tea in the house, which is chai tea, which the chai is too strong for a mug. Like, it makes a mug of way too strong tea. And in this end of the G&K, 5 rounds of Swiss in, still the perfect temperature. I'm now a chai tea enjoyer. Gotta go to bed. I hope you all game continues to be like that one. Thank you, Lockmanos. Thanks for dropping in. Hopefully get you some rest, huh? Getting late. Anyways, we're on a thermos meta. Oof. So say that you're playing at an event, like you're playing at CBI. Do you watch the stream between rounds? Like, I'm assuming everyone who plays at the event will turn the stream on because they feel like they can learn something. Thursday's good. Just finished a potluck and got the toddlers to bed. I mean, that sounds like a lot of work. Well done. Did you bring to the potluck or did you host the potluck? And as someone who hosts the potluck, you're expected to bring more than the person who's coming to a potluck, right? Hey, Ultrafilter, how's it going? That was a very funny game of Synapse. That was a weird game of Synapse. Were we playing? I know it's allowed, but it feels weird watching streams between rounds. I think a lot of people do it. Like, you recognize people in chat. It's like, it's technically correct. You're allowed to do it. Obviously, if you're streaming, if you're in a game that's streamed, you can't watch the stream. It doesn't actually give you that much information besides you technically hear the commentators maybe giving you angles, which is still like not good. Don't do that. But yeah. I was not the opponent. Okay, good content. Okay, cool. I probably wouldn't watch the stream. Maybe it's a good idea, but I feel like a burnout focusing on just never that long. Breaks are good. Yeah, I think if you want to take care of yourself like that, that makes a lot of sense. As a South Asian person, I always feel the obligation to point out that chai means tea, so you don't have to say chai tea. I've heard of this. I know we're saying like tea, like bread. That is just how it is here, though. Unfortunately. Hey, Cold Lava. Have you ever played Legends of the Five Rings? If yes, how fun is it? I have. I have a weird relationship with Legend of the Five Rings. I got into it like last year. Or no, 2 years ago? No, I think it was last year. How's it going? Congrats on the CBI thing. Excited to see you clearinghouse people. The game is really interesting. I have like I bought a limited collection, so it's like only the first waves of the game, which a lot of people thought was really quite good. The game is very tactical. It's very thinky. It's a lot of things where you respond from hand, which is not always my favorite kind of game. I like to have the game pieces be on the table, not be like, oh, surprise. But I've had some like very memorable games with my partner who puts up with it. We've had games that are like 2 hours though, which like could give it or take. Well, this is Hosh. Our hand has no ice. We don't really have a play. If we top deck ice, like I don't think there's ice strong enough for us to be triple jam. And actually, if we draw an ice, we could do a maze off roll jam and see what happens. Oh, that tracks. We host the potluck every couple of weeks. Really nice way to get friends together. Our house is too small for it, but we do it anyway. Oh, that sounds really nice. I'm gonna keep this. That's 6, Spencer. I don't do enough social stuff like that, and the fact you take the time is awesome. Okay, this is not good. I think we draw 3. We have enough money in our hand. Okay, Fly Swatter for the remote server is good. We do Fly Swatter into off-world. The only way that we lose the Fly Swatter is crew immediately or buzzsaw immediately. That puts us down to 6 cards. We discard 1. That's fine. This could be transfer Hosh. I'd be surprised. Nanako is yelling from the other room. Elfever is a game where you make 10,000 decisions every turn and you make a single wrong one, you lose. Yeah, if you're playing against a good opponent, there's some really cool like future thought stuff where like your plans on one turn really impact your plans on another turn. I appreciated that. The Order of the Rings is really thinking like there's so many moving parts that it is definitely a brain burn. Honestly, don't know if this is that good for us. We could seamless this out again, but I think we just do this and pass. I don't know. I think I enjoy L5R a fair bit as like a casual game with a small card pool. But I haven't been doing deck building. I've just been like net decking recommended precon decks. I wonder if Hosh runs. Hosh runs. Don't hit the good thing. Oh, that's going to die. But I'm not an expert. I know a lot of people who know a lot more about L5R. So that was the card we wanted to put in the remote server next turn. Cold Lava has Gourmand Leech, so this is probably Ice Destruction. So Fly Swatter is good against everything. It's bad against Crew, but it's really good against Botulus. We can draw for an Ice, install the Ice, install Remastered, especially if it's a Boomy. Ooh. I think we have enough money that the Remastered actually opens up more lines. Let's make it a 1 and 4 in HQ. The Fate Dell was a very cool idea until people almost immediately realized they should bid. Yeah, the Fate Dell totally fell apart. Oh, this is good. This is really good. You're gonna end up with a tag. This is actually really quite good. The problem is now the remote server sucks this turn, but you think you'd be able to get through this ice. Unfortunately, it's the one ice you can't get through. Got a piece out to put EV to bed. Night all. Hey, Night Sindarin. Thanks for dropping in. All right, so Cold Lava has a tag. You have to clear this click. If you clear last click, we can in theory jam an off-world office and score it, which is kind of funny. If we had a Holloman in hand, we could jam it. Oh no, hit the off-world. In theory, we could have jammed that. But now we have no installable, so we actually can't install anything. That sucks. My brother hates brain burn games. Alpha is probably not a game. No, if that's not what's enjoyed, you definitely should not do that. I mean, this does not feel like we're playing Netrunner. If we draw one more piece of ice, maybe, but this Fly Swatter doesn't work anymore unless we get another Fly Swatter. But we are just like not making a lot of decisions. Yeah, and Elfever was like very much about card advantage and some stuff that like I don't think resonate with me super well. But the games I had were like the pieces are super interesting. There's like some busted powerful cards or like cards that have effects that you're like that's absurd, but no card lasts for that long because when you play a card, you have to put extra resources on it, and each resource you put on it means that card will last one more turn. So there's like this cool ebb and flow that things come and they disappear as like the courts change, and I actually like that a lot. We could just square out the tomorrow's headline and give Cold Lava a tag. It lets us install the VSA. I think we should do this. Like, doesn't feel great. Yeah, I think you FA for the tempo because it gives Cold Lava a tag. He doesn't have a lot of money. He could pop the Hannah. At a minimum, we could put the VSA on this server or a new server, which sucks. But yeah, now we win by scoring another 3-2 or 4-2 or him floating a tag. And we grab the one of backroom. So he's checking hand first, which is good. So he can grab something before it ends up in the server. Now that this is an expensive server to run. Gourmand Trask, the VSA. Okay, bummer. His money is bad. If we draw the 1x oppo, that's why like the oppos are so good. But then the problem is once they have 4 oppo tags, they never remove tags. So your text is blank. I guess you have to remove the tags for them. And then like your text is kind of blank. Tomorrow makes backroom a win threat. Yeah, but only if they don't. Whoa. Oh no, he's handing. We have nothing to reveal. Like he has to float the tag, and we are not putting him in a position where he has to float a tag. Well, now the hand is gone. That's kind of nice. Gourmand. Like, no. Ah. Like, what do? We just keep drawing. Be cool. So ping remaster doesn't do anything. Like we're at the point where he has 2 breakers out. Our ice doesn't matter. So we could draw and discard. We could just credit. I think we're just a hedge fund. It's a 1 and 4. But like the only way that we win from this point is hope that he doesn't get a buzzsaw, and then we can put another what's it called? Because we also don't have any seamlesses. We have to install advanced remaster if we don't draw a Holloman. Like we kind of feel like a rush deck that ran out of gas on turn 5. Admittedly, we did play with very little concern for what the future looks like, but we also don't have ice. I guess we're just bravadoing for 4. I mean, he needed money. He has money. Yeah, I think we're cooked. I don't see a way that, unless we can get him to take an amaze that he's not expecting, that might be a way out. We only have 1 amaze though. Ooh, badge. Okay, we have to draw for a seamless or a hollow min. Oh, that's good because now we build a remote server. I think we actually do still use the server because he only run it so many times. But if we do this and he runs it and he takes the ping tag, if he clears the ping tag on last click, which would be an error on his part, we can still score the embedded and win. So he has to mess up for us to have a chance here. And even if we messes up, like he'd have to do raw last click because he can always just run the server again. That's kind of why this botchless Fly Swatter matters. But this is an entirely free run because we have Taka. Like I want to mess the chest foe. I want to face check. That matters. Break it. Destroy her. Your hate makes you powerful. Oh, it's Boomerang. So yeah, he just uses the talker for fun. She's gone. We get a badge counter. So as long as he just doesn't remove the tag last click, if he does, we win. But like that's on him to not do that. Yeah, can't install anything here because he just runs it. This deck wants a Behold? Yeah, maybe it does. I think that's what the mazes are trying to do. But now he should run HQ. Oh, Fermenter. Okay. Oppo. We need to find a Fly Swatter. Ooh, Starlet's nice. Starlet's definitely something. The issue is we have to put this remastered and we have to top deck well. If we res this, we're also like literally bankrupt, but this is the only bad face check. I think this is why he boomerangs, because this is the one bad face check. I don't think we can cash this check. I put the remaster so that if he takes the tag, we installed embedded, but I think in time of economy, that actually did not make sense. It might have been the embedded we should push here. The 1 in 30, the small oppo. All right, so he's a Gachapon. So if we res this, we're bankrupt, but at least he might take 2 tags. He, in theory, could fish for his killer. I'm assuming it's like some value pilled engine, like a Carmen. He totally whiffs, so he's going to end up with 2 tags. The problem is we're bankrupt. So even if he steals this remastered, which he should, we can't get embedded on the table and score it out unless like we spin doctor perfectly into a seamless launch and a predictive planogram, which would be pretty wacky. The cool thing is like we can make these plays though, because he has to steal 4 agendas. So it's not like suddenly he's on game point if he steals this. It like actually does feel very good for decks like this. Takes 2 tags. This does have relevant text now because we're on threat 4. But yeah, we are bankrupt. That's not good. Do we draw for backroom win? Oh, yeah, it's a good point. Probably not, because we can't. We have no money. Like we have to do like planogram into backroom. So we might actually shuffle in planogram seamless. The thing is, if we installed embedded in here, like he has to be scared exactly planogram seamless. That's really funny. So we'll see if he clears the tags or not. He might just try and send with a twinning and close. Oh, the Boomy actually was pretty good into this because it clears the botch list. Why didn't we do the Boomy? Yeah, Boomy might have been better in Starlit because it actually makes a fly swat and ETR. We might have wanted to believe in ourselves here. I don't know why we didn't do that because he has to kind of click it. Yeah, we should have just pushed the Boomy. We would have had 2 credits. So now he has to run it, but this ends the run. Are you sure? Yeah. Yeah, he forgot the threat text. This is actually a hard end the run. You can take it back. Yeah, we're a threat 4, so this has 1 end the run on it. It's in there. We both know it. So he can like remove the tag and just run it next turn. We always can over-install it if we're not comfortable with what we've done. Oh, yeah, sorry. Can't fix that. Yeah, so he gives us a window. I don't know if he realized we're on 0 credits though, so it's like really hard to get out of this. What did I miss? Oh, we played the sickest Synapse game, Ren. It was really good. And we did a CBI recap. Yeah, there's a really bad take back, unfortunately, at Worlds in which like the Onicom, a player forgot to use the overclock credits and then the Onicom auto draws. It's like very unfortunate because you can't fix it. Thing 2. We're on game point. So now we really have to draw well. So we can draw backroom, we can draw planogram, we can draw seamless. So I'm going to spin dock. Okay, like this is a really bad call here. Okay, hold on. So hold on. Thinking what's on top? That would help. So one of our options is that we can use the spin doctor to shuffle back the predictive and the seamless. If we draw exactly predictive immediately, we can predictive for seamless advance, we can win. The other reason to only shuffle predictive in is if we draw one of our 3 predictives, we could play big predictive, draw backroom machinations, and win. The issue is, though, if we don't find the thing that we want, the embedded is in the remote server. Cold Lava has to like crack fermenter, remove 2 tags, and then runs the server, and we lose. So don't you need money? I do need money, but the thing is if we play predictive because he's tagged, we get cards and credits, so we'll have enough money to do seamless advance, let alone we'll have enough money to do backroom, right? He knows the top card of the deck, right? Yeah, he knows this card. Oh, if you could tell me. It'd help a lot. But you do, yeah. So like, removing tags gives us money, yeah, but we want tags because tags are the only thing making the server slightly secure. Are there other predictives in deck? There are 2 predictives, but there's only 1 seamless. So like adding the predictive and the seamless adds a 3rd predictive, but we need to find at least 1 seamless to be able to score out. The other options, if we find a predictive, we can find a spin doctor and fix it that way. If you draw seamless, you can remove the tag and score. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, we can click for 2 removes. Yeah. So maybe we do 2 seamlesses and then we have 3 and 26 draws plus a predictive. That's a better line, I think. Well, no, hold on. So if we draw a seamless, we win. I mean, gotta do something. You're lying. Okay, yeah. So the top decks that win are predictive as long as it finds a seamless. So we need seamlesses, or if it finds a back room. So that's not really likely. If we shuffle the 2 seamlesses in, then we can either draw seamless 1, seamless 2, seamless 3, predictive 1's predictive 2, and then predictive 1 or 2 have a chance. I think we do 2 seamlesses. It's probably better than doing the predictive seamless, because top decking a single seamless wins for sure. Predictive is not guaranteed. So we'll go for the guaranteed line. F. So now we're cooked. So if we draw once and it's a back room 1 and 27, we win. F. Okay, so we have to click for credit and then put the Boomy on the remote server, and that buys us a turn. Okay, this buys us a turn. Let's just do that. Yeah, we click for 2 and put Boomy and Starlight pick. This is technically a line. This buys us another turn, and we have enough money to score out. He needs to force us to res the Boomy, but if we do, we're bankrupt again. This is what I mean. Like, Synapse gameplay is 4 ice on a server, no centrals. Like, what are we doing? But also, it's exciting, I guess. It's just like, we are deep into the slot machine. Yeah, I need to remove tag. QA, how's it going? 100%. That's the way that we get this ice for free, let alone game 2, which is kind of awesome. Oh, what was on top of it, by the way? We also still have 3 Genesis and 26, so the density on R&D is fine. 20 can definitely see too. Wasn't install ignoring all costs? That's kind of good. Yeah, it's install ignoring all costs, which is like why the Synapse, the only thing that Synapse does that makes sense is build Jinja City stacks, which like throw me in the ocean. I hate Jinja City. But yeah, it is ignoring all costs, which is like very, very the best thing about it. But also like, again, it's literally Jinja again. Revealing ice, just putting on the remote server saying it's overwhelming. Fermented for 8. Oh, we lose. As long as he clears a tag. What? Oh, he has Taka. Yeah, good game. So Boomy, he has both breakers. It's turn 9. So he breaks this for 2. Oppo? Ah, interesting. That's it. So he breaks this for 1. He breaks this for 2. He breaks this for 1. He breaks this for 1. Wait, he has enough credits, right? So he breaks this for 2. He has 5 credits. This is he can fire this. 3, 4. Yeah, we can concede. He doesn't have the credits. They're on Trickster Taka. So Boomy, he has to break for 2. Technically 1. He can take a core damage. It doesn't matter. So it's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we concede. Take a game. Need to break all of Starlit? No, he only has to break 1 subroutine on Starlit. I exposed it to you. It's a Boomy. Because Starlit, he just has to break the end of the run. So he breaks 1 on Boomy, 1 on Starlit, 1 on Ping on 1 on Fly Swatter. He has a credit left over. I think he realized we showed him it's a Boomy. Yeah, Synapse's text is wild. Yeah, he has to break the end of the run because this has 1 end the run. Good game. Kind of an exciting end, though. but not much of choices on my side. Yeah. Like Synapse because I sleep. I mean, it was exciting. We had to get a bit lucky there. We had to draw again into a seamless, and we had to draw into the back room, which is somewhere in the deck. Retribution also like maybe opens something up where we retribute the Refactor, I guess. GG. Let's give it another shot though. But that's like what I imagine most reg decks look like, where you just ignore essentials unless it's criminal and then just ram the remote. Not a lot of games on. Let's do one more. It doesn't feel like we have agency, which is like the modern core problem. Oh, Plural's playing. Sick. I feel like there was maybe one turn you can money up a bit with the non-equivalent. Yeah, I felt like I was on the clock because I think we are on the clock. Like, that's my read, Kato, is you might be right, totally. But my feel is that our ice is bad. And so if our opponent ever gets the 3 breakers, we do not have a game plan. Especially once we're getting to game point where like the maze amusements doesn't matter anymore. Because what are we going to do? None of our ice is broken for less than 2 credits, and there's a Trickster Taka on the table. So the only option is they float a tag, we find backroom machinations. We actually were, I think, closer than we thought we were. I think our chance of winning off of an estimated hypergeometric was probably like 30 to 40 on the last turn. Because we had like a whole bunch of different draws. How mad would you have been if it was actually backroom? I would have thought it was really funny. Love a good game, by the way. Yeah, our outs there were to draw predictive, to draw backroom, or to draw seamless. We just needed to draw one of them, and we had a way out. The Boomy install was like the thing that bought us the most time. Or we could draw a Spin Doctor to install over. So using the Spin Doctor was a bit of a risk. Hey, Flesh and Blood, absolutely love that episode. Made me feel super warm and nostalgic. I saw play O&R the other day. Oh yeah, that was a good time. Just last week, I had a really good time doing that. The feedback was quite positive too. And I'm glad we had like very, very much wild O&R games. I do like the idea of embedded into backroom. Haven't seen it aligned yet. Oh yeah, neat. You could put it on top, I guess. Even just like putting predictive planograms on top, like it makes R&D safe. You have a cool draw if they're tagged. But yeah, we like ran through so many of our seamlesses so fast and then kind of steam left. It's 11:35. I don't think these Synapse games are long, so I think we can wait for one more. I miss doing longer streams. 3 hours doesn't feel like long enough. When you have to Arkham Tangent for like 25 minutes every week. ONR played as FFG and it was cool for sure. Yeah, I really want to see ONR played like ONR because I'm aware that it's functionally just, you know, 2 people comboing at each other. You clocked the cards and felt about them once rad. How much did you play ONR back in the day? I take it. From my understanding, like a popular runner deck is your deck ran like every copy of Quality Time, which is like 10 quality times. Quality Time is a card that costs 3 that draws 5. And you played this card that I can't remember the ANR reprint name, but it just said discard cards from your hand. For every card discarded, gain 2 credits. And so that was your engine. Draw 5, draw 5, draw 5, discard 15 cards, gain 30 credits. And then you'd play the minimal amount of breakers, and in 3 turns, you draw through your whole deck and set everything up. And then you'd play MIT West tiers, which were just Levy AR Live Accesses or Modernly Ashens, and you just do it again, right? It was like, imagine every deck is the most busted, refined, you know, Slay the Spire combo deck. On our stream, yielded the best evil pad screenshot, but I have no idea where to share it. Discord, maybe. I wonder if we could have scored out doing Boomy instead of Starlight on that turn. I think Thanos, there's a chance. I think I might have missed that the Boomy actually was really good on the remote server. And because we hadn't revealed it, the face check into it would have ended the run and we might have been able to score out. I think that was the one big mistake we made. And I think I realized it after. Wait, the Boomy's actually really good here. Because I don't think our opponent, I don't think Cold Lava would have been like, oh, wait, I need to install my decoder and then run the remote. And that's why I do think the ice in this deck is actually really good. Oh, we're going to get illuminated on real bad. Boomies are really good into Arsana. I think I'm going to hold this and assume we have something to jam, but obviously this is not a good hand, but doubles Boomy into Arsana seems like kind of sick. Even like BSA is good. I'm going to put an ice on R&D because I'm assuming this is like Pincel's list. Corp Psycho Tycho is nuts. Tycho, mind you, is the 4/4 blank agenda. Oh, very cool. Is there an email to send you an old asset with old deck lists? Yeah, Metropole Grid at gmail.com works. Appreciate it. Booming the Starlight spot would have cooked the botch list again. Yeah, exactly. I think that would have been pretty good. It might have actually been like the easy line. So I'm assuming this is the illumination list. So we want to put something on R&D. It should end the run, but none of our ice does. For the remote server, boomies are not perfect because you can click through it. So the best thing we could get is a fly swatter. So this is not amazing. I think we just draw double ice. I think this on the remote server might be okay, but it's expensive. And I don't think we get burned. All right, we're going to need some economy. We don't have a lot of card draw built in. But booming to Starlit Night seems like a reasonable server, as much as threat 4 is a whiles away. No, don't 1 in 5 us. Nice. I wonder what this run's about. You usually don't take runs like that in Arasana. You have a lot of work to do. Like, just setting up is very slow. Especially if you make a run and don't do Arasana, it's kind of expensive. Okay, so how much of it's fine? Propeller, okay, that's fine. That actually makes the booming worse. So we could do a maze embedded and just click for credit. If we res Starlit into maze, they might be in tag hell. The problem is, like, I don't actually think tag hell converts. This deck doesn't have any way to really do tag hell. Yo, Seth, this is the deck list of the week from Franzi last week, which we weren't able to play because we were playing ONR. So excited to give it a shot. So far, we've had some actually relatively interesting games. As much as I'd obviously be dismissive about this exact deck, which sucks because Franzi's so nice. I feel so bad about it. I hate being dismissive about deck ideas. It's not a good look, Andre. The deck did well. What are you doing? Let's see if they run it. If they don't, we go down to 3 credits scoring and embedded, which we probably don't. Oh shit, they have the tech. Tag Hell converts to Synapse Econ. I mean, you can magnum opus all you want, I guess. This sucks. Copulation naturally beats Amaze Amusements because if they take it away, the persistent effect doesn't work. You worked? It cheated my goals very well? Wait, what did? Your Synapse deck? I know the text on Synapse. Whatever, we're going to score this. Points. I didn't want to seamless it because there's nothing else we're doing that turn relevant, let alone we have 4-2. So our opponent knows that we didn't seamless it. He saw this is seamless. All right, Propeller, Copulation, Silent Chip. We're 1 muse away from any breaker showing down. We have a Coalescence. Let's see the Knickknack show up next. Get some tag liability cooking. I'm scared. The Arasana can't just set up, right? Like, it's going to be a while before we can threaten to 7, let alone our economy is not letting us get to that point. So just like setting up seems fine. Like, I don't think you actually have to make runs. This reads like an amaze. If it was a Holloman, we probably wouldn't have fired it because we would spend 6, get a click back. Probably not worth it. So looks like an amaze, and as long as they don't use the copulation on HQ, fine. Oh, there you go. The whole gang's here. All right, we do humanoid, click for 2. We can res the Starlit, hopefully make someone upset. Best we got, and hopefully when we res this and fire it, we'll find one of our econ operations. We have a lot. We have planograms, hedge funds, non-equivalents. We should find something. They definitely want to run because of Knickknack into Cole, so they might face check this. We ask for priority, maybe give them 2 tags. Best case, they get through this for 2 credits if they grab a Phaserum. We do eat Phasarums with other stuff. I mean, looks like you got it. You've got the econ. Knickknack, KK for 2. Flip Simul. Full for 4. You're cooking. I mean, more. I mean, they're fine. Like, hey, same for us. Sent you an email with decklist and top runner conference info. Yo, that's sick. Thank you, Flesh Blood. Action. So in theory, they have prio here. It doesn't matter anywhere near as much in modernly. Oh, they're actually using it. So if they don't install something super relevant on here. Yeah. It's a chromatophores. Okay, so they're going to be able to break this. So unfortunately, I don't think we can res it. Texting out a propeller doesn't seem like it makes sense. Man, chromatophores propeller is really good. Because they break this for 1 counter and 2 credits, leaving them at 2 credits so they can trash the humanoid. If it makes us really poor, but if they break this, they can't trash the amaze. They could cup the amaze, which is what they should be doing anyways. On the turn, it matters. It sucks that the amaze goes down on turn. It doesn't matter. I think we don't res this. I think we wait for the boomy. Yeah, boomy will go hard. They can just simul chip it though, so it doesn't actually go that hard. I think we don't res this because we still can top deck econ. I don't want to go down to 0. This does turn on small oppo, which we actually probably will do, especially if we draw econ. That's the weird thing though, is like you want to jam. Oh, they cupped it. That's the best they can do. So that's good. Okay. Yeah, I think we want to draw for something to jam. We may just do credit oppo and see what they do. They don't have to do much here. They want to run because of knickknack. If we give them 2 tags, the best we can do is install a boomy on the server, which, like, again, it's 1 simul chip away from not mattering. I feel like we should have mulliganed into a jam because, like, it's turn 3. Look at their board state. Look at our board state. I guess we'll draw once for an install. That's fine. We can do credit small oppo. It ends up on 4, so we at least can install a spin doctor. I think the VSA is the worst card in this hand. So they have to watch out because when they clear the tag really matters because they do a last click on 4 credits, we can score in their remote server. So they need to make sure. Well, actually, that's not true because they can clear the first tag. It's only the first tag on Synapse that matters. Oh, if they flush the cup here, I think we're happy. They do. Okay, boomy, fly swatter, spin. So we lost a spin. Maybe. They need to clear the tags. Actually, maybe they don't trash the spin. They don't. Yeah, cool. Okay, also because they have a gamble. Environmental. Wait, now they're going to float a tag. They can't install that. You're not allowed to install that. Echelon? Whoa, okay. So we have some issues, but we have to trash both of these cards. So I think we do trash, remove a tag, install a spin doctor. Actually, we kind of want them to have tags. I think we want them to have tags. We're bankrupt. We can click for 2, removing a tag and installing a spin doctor. I feel like that's a good enough click that we should consider doing it. Oh, actually, no, we should install the boomy because it's free. Because if they clear the tag, we can install the spin doctor. Okay, now the boomy text doesn't matter. And actually, we made a server 2 centuries. Wait, that was probably wrong. Because it said century to century. Why did we do this? We were so excited to trash the command force. It doesn't matter. Andre, what are you doing? Put the fly swatter there. We'll put a spin doctor in a new remote server. We did hurt their econs substantially. So that's good. But again, we still need to score 3 agendas in a remote server. Yeah, this boomy wasn't right. Actually, we might not want to do the spin doctor. Doing the fly swatter was better. What are we doing? We should have put the fly swatter in here for free. The spin doctor is not that important. Yeah, this was bad. Fly swatter into boomy to starlet. That's a server. Not that we have the credits. Okay, well, speaking of not having the credits, draw into predictive. Nice. They don't have the credits. I think we just have to be aggressive. Oh, would we rather them steal the off-world or the remastered? This server, we can only res 1 ice. That's a problem. So we can put another spin doctor there and hope they run it. Let's try that. I want to be able to res both these ice. The boomy's actually a bit expensive. I really hope they run this. If they don't run this, we're in a bad spot. They just continue to build up. Maybe on 2 credits, he's not going to run this. He always has access to pull like simul chips for +4, but not a lot of players love doing that because it feels expensive. Oh, wow, we should have jammed this turn. Shit, I feel like Franzi would have jammed. We have to remember SRN's not super confident with Arasana, so some of the lines are going to be a bit more maybe conservative. Okay. Come, run. Ah, we have less credits. Fewer credits even. So the spin, we can shuffle back a maze and I think predictive and then just keep using the server. Actually, I'm going to trash the spin doctor because I think I'd rather spin the spin back in. I just want to jam more things in remote. Yeah, committed to the Nuka before the predictive. I think the first predictive, obviously with the tag, is not going to be great, but now they really need he really needs to get down the what's it called, environmental testing to get back in the game. I think we've seen no creatives though. Maybe there's a creative. Yeah, we haven't seen a creative yet. So we have 2 gambles, 3 creatives. There should be a lot of like flexible bounce back. All right, let's see. Whoa. What's this? What's this about? Oh, coalescence from hand. Okay, I think this can force out a breaker. Otherwise, this is a tag, and then we can trash Well, we can remove the tag to install a fly swatter for free. Oh, wow. We're going to flow tagging in. Single. Yeah, we're going to shuffle with Spin Doctor. We don't mind. Okay. So they have a tag. So we could shuffle the planogram back in actually, and an amaze. That might be good. But we need to use this remote server. So I think we remove the tag for him, which I'm not happy about that. We know the Paladin's like kind of useful next turn. Oh, actually environmental testing got thrown out, so maybe less useful than we thought it'd be. But I think we need to push in this remote server, but we need more money. So I think we remove the tag to put the fly swatter on the server. Double Boomy's also kind of fine too, but I think the end the run code gate's like relevant. So we need to use the server. So I'm going to trash this. I'm going to res this before. And then I'll shuffle with this. So I'm going to put the spin back in, and I think the planogram. Cool. Okay. So we could draw through game 3 with this, which is honestly too much. But when in Rome, we did not need to do that. That was maybe too many cards. That was probably too many cards, let's be honest. So I think we're going to put this in server 1, and I think we're going to Synapse to remove a tag, which is fun relevant text. And we'll put this on server 1, removing the tag, getting 9. So we have to discard 3 cards here. We'll get rid of 1 spin, 1 non-equivalent, and I think I'll throw out an agenda because I don't think he checks archives before we get a shuffle. We'll try that. I think he's like really struggling with economy, so it's probably going to keep him busy, not do like a value run on archives. Maybe we have to worry about a burner. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if this is still card for card Pincel's list. I don't think it is, because we would have seen an illumination maybe by now. I forget what the win condition. Well, like what is the win condition we're expecting? A cataloger? Remastered felt like our next score over off-off. Yeah, you might be right that 2 off-off is a bit like goofy. Yeah, we might want to do 1 off-off into remastered. I think that makes sense. Yeah, I do like that in hindsight. I thought we wouldn't have enough money, but yeah, this will give us 7 credits. We're going to score it for 3, and that's probably enough for the server. The thing is, like, if we res a server, we're not going to feel good. Oh, that's not a great install. I think we're happy with that. Yeah, I like the remastered more. I think it's more important to winning than 7 credits, considering we threw out economy with it. No, not at all. I'm yapping. We'll see where his aggression. I mean, I'm gonna ask for action. I'm surprised that happened. I don't know why that's happening. I think he maybe smelled something here. I just don't think there's much to smell. Okay, no Arsana. Pincel has bees and Mary. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, 2 points. Turns on the Oppo we left in archives. At least we get some points on our side. Okay, we're on 13 credits. Pass. Now, if he takes a tag and clears a tag, that's fine. Paladin, she's hungry. Fencer is not going to be worth much here. We can technically discard it to Paladin. I think we saw that a lot over the weekend. Okay, what are we doing? What point is he going to be comfortable running the remote server? I think with the chromatophores and a propeller, like 2 simulchips, the server you should be able to run. No problem. We're on threat 4, so Starlit Night starts to matter. But I honestly don't know if we install Advance the Offworld or whether we install the Humanoid. Oh, it is Illumination. Very cool. So let's see if the VSA gets broken. From hand, Muse to get. We're over MU. So you can install something on the VSA and trash the Muse. You're allowed to do that. Fencer can play for Illumination. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. This is during a run. So we lost the chromatophores. So Euler breaks us for free, and we're going to install 3 cards. Yeah, this seems good. I don't know what we're installing, but yeah, you can use Fencer credits because it's when the run's successful. This installs 3 cards, each for 1 cost fewer. I just don't know what the installs would be here. Like, environmental testing into double would be absurd. I think Pincel's deck does not run a console, which is like super cool. Yeah, that's a good start. I think we're now going to lose the game. It's so hard when your opponent plays an Illumination and you don't just lose the game on the spot. Like, they get more than a whole turn in a single run. Yeah, this is Pincel's list. Like, the amount of credits and installs you got for the single action is ridiculous. We saw 2, no steal. 2x DZ instead of console. I saw Bahrain's. Yeah, it's very cool. Rising Tide. Okay, so we have everything besides decoder, which we lost. It's in the bin. He knows we have a bigger picture. He's on 9 credits. Soon, easily with environmental testing, you can pop this for +9 by just like simul chip flickering twice. This server we res for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we can install the offworld. I think it's okay. We have no tag. They know the top of R&D. That's all they know. But this server, we have to break a fly swatter, so it's a simul chip. Then the Boomy has to be broken for 2, probably. Starlight Knight has to be broken for 2. I mean, I feel like we have to do this, but I do not feel good about what we're doing. We can install the Spin Doctor just for like another issue. It's not really affordable to put a 4th ice here, let alone like maybe the ping is interesting. But for the ping to be interesting, we have to hold the agenda and have a seamless. Like this offer, I'm realizing it's not even a check we can cash. Maybe we should have gone for the humanoid. I've been really bad at telling if SRN's going to run or not. This seems like a very obvious run turn, so I did the opposite. I mean, that's probably not it. Do we need to advance? No, we're going to top deck something good. There's 2 seamlesses. Yeah, we probably need to advance. We probably should have put the humanoid. So SRN's decoder's in the bin, and we have a simul chip, and we have a dead Vidata with 1. Let alone we want to get the propeller in the bin for the tide. Again, our ice is bad. I think the fact that we're on turn 10 is not good for us. Even if we get like a big oppo, if we have to shuffle it back in with Spin Doctor, I don't think giving the opponent 4 tags is a way to close the game out. Like Retribution is totally beat by Arasana. And there's only 1 card. Well, actually the bigger picture is kind of cute. All right, so we're going to use a simul chip on this. It's going to bring out a permanent breaker though. But we're going to be able to see only 1 new card. Is there MP enforcement? No, surprisingly not. So this Oiler is also good for running the remote. This is only 2 cards, but one of them is known. We trashed the Rising Tide, not the Propeller. Surprising. Propeller is not going to be cheaper. It's a fence or trashing a humanoid, so now the top of the deck is unknown. So I guess we could maybe score this offworld. Unlikely. Okay, not good. Oiler breaks the server. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 9 credits coming in next turn. I feel like I wouldn't say concede, but it seems bad. I think we can put many small things on the table. R&D is now totally new. I think we want SRN to tunnel R&D and like Devadata, the simul chip of the Devadata. That'd be like fine with us. I think we just have to like get more things on the table. Again, not a lot of Trojans in standard. This Boomy's not doing enough. Like adding 2 more credits to breaking this VSA does not change the math on how easy R&D is to run. I think we'll just get money. I'm hoping one of these sticks. This seems really bad. I think without an amaze, I think the game's just too late. The read is that this is like maybe an amaze into an agenda, so maybe SRN doesn't want to run it, but they can always like, he can simul chip for what's it called? The one that gives oh, we need a pink here, a simul chip for copulation. Yeah, now we're gonna lose the Holloman at the same time. Maybe we put the Holloman on the table. So ping 2, not flickering. Now we're flickering. Install a Trojan. It's the copulation. So SRN's playing around on 20 credits. I think we concede. We can't win with 3 breakers and 20 credits. I think we do concede. We have literally no... Oh, sorry. Sorry, I meant to res. I need to pay 5 so that he pays 2. There's 2. Oh, sick. I forgot you could do that. Yeah, it looks like it. I think we needed to mulligan more aggressively. But this is like what I don't get. If you get to this point, I don't think you have a win condition. We're on Big Oppo. We already were. There's no tags, so you can check server 4. You just trash all of this. Oh, you cup it. Okay, that's fine too. I think you want to keep the cup for a maze because it's like the one narrow way you lose. All right, we're installing because of Paladin. It's a wake. Oof, HQ is a problem. All right, we didn't need to res that. I forget this is not a start of turn trigger. Let's fire. If we draw an agenda, we're in a bad spot. So we can install remastered a maze, and like maybe that's a line, but I think we're gonna lose the central's pressure. So we'll do server one. Server one. We can't even score this next turn. We'll play the hedge fund. We'll pass. So now he can see like 4 cards from R&D this turn. We can't score on the remote server. In theory, I guess if he runs a remote server, takes 2 tags, like bigger picture swings 10 credits. Like maybe he runs out of money. Just gonna run it. I mean, like, yeah, that makes sense too. And we have nothing to jam in the remote server. Our text is blank. Oh, okay, we missed. You gotta keep him on the toes. Oh, we're using the compilation immediately. Wow, okay. Fly swatter, ping, bigger picture. I think a lot of these cards are known. Now we're running their remote server, so we're going to be able to clear all the tags. Yeah, this is not a game plan. You can take the core damage if you want to save a credit at any point. Wake build and go R&D will kill? Yeah, 100%. We lose on centrals. And this remote server is only like 6 credits to run. You can even click the boomy. Doesn't really change much. Oh, sorry. I meant to res this. I meant to res that. Oops. Sorry. We definitely meant to res that. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. We could have just taken 2 tags. Okay. Res. Very good. And we're off. All right, so Esern takes 2 tags, clears them. We can't do anything. We can put ice on the server. The ping is like kind of annoying, but on game point, like it doesn't really matter. I guess the ping is more annoying than the boomy. I just wish we had something to put in the server. The thing is that even if we put an agenda in the server, we have to reveal it, and then SRN just runs it. Like that's also the issue. Is revealing the card is such a bad cost. I think you get rid of the fencer here. I think this card's done more than you thought it would. Yeah, I think we had to mulligan into more of a rush strat. This is way too slow. And then waiting for this is not an option. We're on turn 12. Oh, actually showing the paladin out. Okay, so we don't have more installables. Draw. Oh, we probably should have spin doctored for Hollowman, honestly. But there's no that we like run HQ, run HQ, run HQ, run RD, we lose. Paladin's always being a fencer. I mean, like there's a pecking order. All right, that's it. Good game. Yeah, we have nothing. I think that turn, the only thing we could possibly done is spin doctored back to get the Oppo research. And then with the Oppo research, maybe we do a big Oppo. The problem is that even with a big Oppo, like on 4, we can't really translate a big Oppo to a win. My pleasure. Thanks for the game, eh? Right? Like the best we can do is give a big 4 Oppo thing and then maybe bigger picture swings enough credits. But in the end of the day, like this is the other issue with parts of this deck. Besides the Starlit Knight, you don't need a lot of money to break this ice, right? Like VSA, you can just go tag me. So SRN can just run HQ, run HQ, run HQ, run RD. It does not matter our text. It does not matter the amount of tags. Now, some of this is on us. Fly swatter, sure, he has to break for 2, so money matters. Ping, you break for 1, and there's only so many propeller counters. But like you can click through boomy, so it's not gonna be great. Oh, SRN, hey, good game. A lot of threats happening. There are not a lot. No, this like if you're not jamming constantly, there are no threats this deck puts off. And again, once you know the deck list, which if you do know the deck list, I don't think there's much we can do. Yeah, the illumination's just disgusting. Oh my god. It's like so much click compression that I do not like. We lose when any player installs all their breakers and gets their economy going, right? That's just this deck, let alone most people lose when Shaper does all those sort of things. And once again, illumination gives you like 6 clicks of value for a single run. It's wild that we haven't seen, well, it did win worlds technically, but like it is such an absurd card when it lands. So what are we doing from here? Okay, we're losing next turn for sure, but yeah, it's I would say it's unsalvageable from here. I feel like once yellow fully op is out there, probably a deck here. I mean, I doubt it. It's gonna feel okay. So my read is installing to go wide is going to have the exact same problem that you are going to have with poetry, where there's so many moving parts that are conditional and conditional. And now that your deck also has to care about tags, you're adding this extra layer of failure that I would be kind of surprised. Like maybe you play like tag, tempo, like assets and like epiphany. And this is the issue. It's like you have epiphany and then you oppo them. And then when they clear the oppo tag, you install on a remote server and then you fork them between two things. It just feels like so many moving parts that you always need a card to install, which again, we do fail on that. And then you show the card. And that's one of the big things when it comes to like what's it called? Fully operational decks is not knowing the ice or not knowing the card in the server is like the problem. Like not knowing where the wage workers are and not knowing that they installed the agenda. Like it's bad. There are a lot of bad parts about what we're doing here. But yeah, specifically also this, we've got to the point where our ice doesn't work. I did not expect bees to count towards that access. Oh yeah, you get it down before you breach because it's on success, right? And then after success, you determine how many cards you access. So yeah, this should work. This should work, which is kind of cool. Just like you can buy a bands out bees, which is like, that's very niche, but very, very cool. Good games. It's been a long week in Netrunner. A lot of, oh, I say more accurately, a busy week in Netrunner, and it's not going to change this weekend. Starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll have the CBI 16 players vying for that Circuit Breaker title. Again, we'll see you there on Saturday. All this is not going to be streamed here. It's going to be streamed on Null Signals YouTube and Twitch, which I forgot they do Twitch still. That's great. More like BIA bands. I like the fully op archetype, but hope that there's an econ card outside of HB. I don't think there will be. Like with the fully op text on it, I don't think like your econ card is playing cohort. Like your econ card is putting stuff in remote servers, but I'd be very surprised if there's another econ card with that exact text on it, because then obviously, well, probably all the decks run all of them. And then it's like very feast or famine, let alone much more powerful. That's my read. I'd be surprised. Huge thank you to all these names here and more. We're supported by Patreon, so we can do stuff like this. Like we did animation work on Friday night, which it's been a while since we've done that, which is fun. But shout out to all these names here and more. Of course, all of our daily cast patrons that support the Metropole Grid, which I'm so thankful. It gives us the time to do the stuff that we do, pay for software, licensing, editing, streaming, all this sort of stuff takes time, takes money. And it's so much easier to do with all these folks. So very much thank you. If you want to support this channel in any way, again, any amount of contributions, incredibly appreciated. You can find the link. It's always in the description. Also, if you just want to take a second to like the stream, if you're logged in on YouTube, subscribe, leave a comment, all this sort of stuff also really does help. It costs nothing, but it helps on the algorithm and more people seeing this and spreading all this sort of Netrunner stuff. Hey, that's me. Also, if your name is here and you want to put a little icon next to your name, like you see some people have, it's usually like top loaded. I don't know what the alphabet's about. Do let me know. I'd be excited to add it. Just hit me up. Email metropolegrid@gmail.com. I check it often enough, I'll say. Not the best at it. But thanks so much. We'll be back on Saturday doing some streams, and after that, we'll be back on next Thursday. I'm assuming we're going to be playing that exact Arasana deck that you saw, so we're going to get some illuminating to go on. That's largely it. Thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you have a good week, and we'll catch you in the next one. Take care, y'all. Oh, it's late. It's past midnight. Yeah. Good night. Ciao.